To be careful with your language, by the way, for all the people. Not that you wouldn't be careful before. All right. Hey, can someone hop on their phone to see if they can get on this? Oh wait, you wouldn't be able to tell. Or if you went to my channel, you'd see them live, right? No? Okay. Oh, we got somebody on. We got somebody watching. We got it.
When are we going live? My mom wants to.
We are live right now.
Okay, what's the thing?
I put it on the doc that I shared with them. Cool, let me see if the witness stand. Can we see that? We can. Perfect. Someone go stand there for me at the podium. Devin, or Mr. Bailiff. Oh, it works. All right. All right, hold up. Start talking. Let's see if we can hear you on Riley's phone.
Hola, niños.
So you're giving an amazing speech.
Your Honor,
I am delayed.
guilty of all charges.
Okay, sweet.
Wait, how do we get there?
We got it.
How do I get there?
You don't need to get there because you're live. You're here in the room with
I
us.
know I'm talking about how.
She knows how to get there. There was an email sent to her. So if you text her in the email, there's a link for her.
Your phone.
Oh, you're on a you like prefer to. You can say it that way.
And I don't know why this morning I was thinking about you holding your phone.
Oh gosh, sure if you want to. It's totally up to you.
Were you shocked?
I was. Then it showed up and I was like,
Can you tell that they're whiter than usual?
no, this will look cream.
Yeah, but they're like not as creamish. Except my pen
All
won't
right.
get out.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So you want
Wait, how do you say approximate? I can't say Wait, do you know organ? Not like your organs.
Yeah, organ.
What's how do you say that other word? Like it's
Organ?
close. No, organ.
Organ.
What's the other one? Organized. There's another one.
The words in the middle, 6th grade. Rose my
I
hand.
won't be able to type feedback, so I'll be in right off.
I haven't worn my glasses like at all.
I might need glasses. Imagine that. It's not so
All right, jurors, are you clear on your instructions? You're good? Okay. You have what you need.
Hey, can you come here and sit?
For the next one? Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
My score's on your
This
ticket
escalates
goes,
further.
the other day.
I can just stand off.
I can also, you can stand off it, I can also put a box, you're gonna be
Where did most
I think you walked out last time, right? Those that are gonna walk away from the podium, be aware of this, be aware of this, please do not trip. So I would just avoid stepping on those completely, because they are not flat. Yeah, you sent it to me, okay. Let's get that printed, and then we're gonna start trial in about a minute.
Abigail, was everything that took place in school?
All right, Evan, am I printing yours as well, right? I really wish they would give you printing capabilities. I know the student that caused you to get it taken away 3 or 4 years ago, though. What's that? Yes, they were printing, do you like jazz memes, like thousands of them to each printer. And it's just like every day. And then they limited it to 15, and then people would print 15 to each printer, and then they're like, okay, we're not doing this anymore. So they stopped it entirely. Come on, internet.
Have you ever taken out your name out of a stuff? Like, you know, like some teachers have like sticks, like, oh, Katie, you have to do that. Did you ever have to do that? Did you ever like take out your name? Yeah. Math, because it was always neat to go up.
All right, that should be printing for you. Do you prefer when teachers use popsicle sticks to call on students? No? I know some teachers use that.
Like Miss Dodds used it, but like
All right, let's see here. That looks good. All right, counselors over here. Good?
Okay, so,
Yeah,
I say, like,
do you want me to type it out?
yes. Sure, okay, say I say.
Nice, all right. All right, we feel good?
Peek your
You're a
head
lawyer?
over the field. Or your hair.
Feel good? All right.
I did.
All right, if you're all good, let's have you back here with witnesses, okay? And then you're, you're a juror, I believe, right? You're not a witness.
Oh, because she said that was
You
my
are all
chair.
there? You're not witnesses.
Those suspects.
All right, before we start, the biggest thing is this, especially for my witnesses. You're wearing masks. Okay, it muffles the sound. You've got to really, really project. Speak louder than you think you need to, especially because we're trying to get on a live stream. If you're over here, you are speaking to the jury. So this is your audience, okay? There were a few times last week during Goldie when they're like talking to me. It's like, I'm not your audience, right? I'm here to kind of control the trial. This is who you're trying to convince, okay? So these are the people you want to talk to. You're welcome to come out here to do that. You don't have to stay behind the podium. Remember, if you want to approach the witness, we talked about you can't like rush up and intimidate witnesses. Like you need to ask to approach the witness just because you're not allowed to like get in the grill, right? Questions at all about the procedures or anything you're worried about? Or okay, I'm excited because you chose to put in. You did not have to do all this work, this high-level work. You chose to do it, so that's awesome. I appreciate the witnesses who are trying to like supplement and make the experience even better. So I appreciate that because you 6, who am I missing back here? Who's my last one? You are the trial. Like the actors, that's the fun part of the trial. Cool? Feeling good? Okay, I'm going to be writing down here. I can't type because I'm using the live stream, but I'm going to be just writing down feedback for you, and then we'll give that all to you at the end of the trial. We probably won't get through the trial today, so wherever it naturally breaks, we'll then kind of pick it up tomorrow. Cool? All right, Mr. Devin.
All rise, the Honorable Judge Kerr proceed.
You may be seated. We are here to hear the case of the state versus Waukee High School. The charges are negligence and liability. We're here to decide if Waukee High School is liable for damages, financial damages. You'll hear about that in the trial. Jury members, do you have any questions about the 2 things that the prosecution must prove for you to find guilt? All right, we can have the prosecution opening statement.
Can I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm on the prosecution and my name is Finley Snavely. I'm presenting here with my 2 co-counselors, Lola Vogelaar and Kate Peters. Today we are covering the case of Lauren Hardy and Jesse Jones with charges of liability and negligence to the Waukee School District. Jesse Jones is the living evidence to prove that the school is more than enough guilty of these charges. Lauren Hardy and Jesse Jones met on August 21st, 2016 at an orientation for the 2016 to the 2017 school year. They both instantly connected with each other and started a friendship that would change Jones's life forever. They exchanged phone numbers as well as followed each other on many other social media applications. They exchanged over 2,400 messages and several social media interactions. A normal school day runs from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., and the bullying lasted from early September to late December. Days before the well-known bullying occurred, the messages between Jones and Hardy turned nasty. Cyberbullying was happening around 2 weeks before they had met, and Jesse Jones suffered serious post-traumatic stress disorder, otherwise known as PTSD, after Lauren Hardy bullied her until she couldn't even come to school. The Waukee School District didn't do anything to help Jesse and called it teenage squabbling, which they're used to. This is not just teenage squabbling. This is a serious issue that needs to be addressed, but the Waukee District didn't do that. They simply ignored the situation and moved on. The bullying happened on school grounds, and there's no denying it. Today, we will be presenting Exhibit A, the text messages, Exhibit B, the social media postings, Exhibit C, the email correspondence, Exhibit D, the Waukee School cell phone policy, and Exhibit E, the school's district anti-bullying policy. Jesse Jones needs justice for the hurt Lauren Hardy and the Waukee School District put her in. We ask you to find the Waukee School District guilty of the following charges: liability and negligence. Thank you. May I be seated, Your Honor?
You may. Defense opening.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
My name is Ellison Smith, and I'm here in front of you today with the assistance of my co-counsel, Abigail M., to defend Waukee High School. Today's trial is between two high school friends, Lauren Hardy and Jesse Jones. The pair first met and exchanged phone numbers at a sophomore orientation. A few months later, Jesse Jones accused Lauren Hardy of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying or cyber harassment is a form of bullying or harassment used on electronic means. Cyberbullying and cyber harassment are also known as online bullying. Parallel with the fact that Waukee High School doesn't allow cell phones or any form of technology on school grounds, the supposed cyberbullying took place off school grounds. This means that Waukee High School has no legal obligation to interfere. Jesse's mom even states that she's facing financial hardships because they now must pay for a private school and therapist. Jesse's therapist recommends that Jesse should see him for a whole year, which would eventually cost $20,800. The Joneses believe that Waukee schools should be forced to pay this cost. Waukee is being charged with liability and negligence in this trial. We believe that Waukee School District was not legally required to intervene with the actions between Lauren Hardy and Jesse Jones, as cyberbullying would have happened off school grounds. We will prove to you today that it is unnecessary and out of context for Waukee High School to take legal action. Today you will hear from Julie Cook, the school guidance counselor at Waukee School District, who will tell you that the girls should not have had their phones on school ground in the first place. You will also hear from Brenda Lee, the Waukee High School principal, who will tell you about their bullying policy and what Waukee defines bullying as. Lastly, Lauren Hardy and Jesse Jones will state that the interactions that happen outside of school grounds, therefore it's not school's responsibility. We will be admitting two pieces of evidence that support our case: the anti-bullying policy and email correspondence between Principal Lee and Julie. We believe that these pieces of evidence support our side and tell the story between two teenage girls who fought and how their high school attended and cannot legally intervene because it took place out of their reach. At the conclusion of today's trial, we will come forward yet again to ask the verdict of not guilty to all the charges being accused. The simple matter of the fact here is that Waukee High School is not able to intervene between their students' lives outside of school. Thank you. May I be seated, Your Honor?
You may. Defense, you may call your first witness. Or, I'm sorry, prosecution, you may call your first witness.
Prosecution calls Jesse Jones to the stand.
Ms. Jones, you may approach.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. You receive?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Please state your name to the court. Jesse Jones. When you and Lauren first met, you and her were friends?
Correct.
How did you meet her?
Well, I met her at the 2016-2017 sophomore orientation.
This was a school event?
Yes, it was.
Did you have to exchange information with Lauren at this event? If so, what kind?
Yes, we exchange phone numbers and social.
Did you have, or did Lauren ever contact you during school? If so, what was the context of the communication?
Yes, she did.
Can you repeat the question? So the answer was yes, and then what was the elaboration?
What was the context of the communication?
It was started off nice, but then she started getting more.
Prosecution would like to enter into evidence Exhibit A, text messages between the victim, Jesse Jones, and Lauren Hardy.
Bailiff?
Yes.
Go grab that for me. You're gonna grab that evidence for me. Thank you so much. All right, for the jury, this is Exhibit A. These are text messages between Jones and Hardy between the 15th, August 15th and December 1st. Over 2,400 messages exchanged.
Would you please read all of the following messages?
Lauren Hardy said, "Did you get those jeans from your mom's closet?" And I replied, "Dude, I don't know what you're talking about." And then she said, "Clearly you don't with those bedazzled mom jeans. And your hair looks like it's spilled and gum from an oil spill." I texted back some question marks. And she said, "Stop sucking up to our teacher, loser," in all caps. And I said, "Stop texting me in class." She said, "Nobody likes you. You have no friends." And I said, "I don't care." She said, "I would care if I were you, but I'm not an ugly slob like you. Jesse, you're the dirtiest person I've ever seen." And I asked her, "Why are you doing this? What did I do to you?" And she said, You come to school with your ridiculous haircut and clothes. Even the teachers hate you."
Can you please read the timestamps on both sets of text messages?
The first set was at 10:25 a.m. The second set was at 8:27 a.m.
Can you confirm if these text messages were sent during the school day?
Yes, they were.
How did these messages make you feel?
They made me feel really hurt.
How did you try and stop the situation?
I told Lauren multiple times and asked her to stop bullying me, but she didn't stop.
I would like to enter into evidence Exhibit B, the social media post.
Bailiff? All right, for the jury, this is Exhibit B, social media posts. It is confirmed that sometime between August 15th and September 1st, Lauren Hardy created a social media group titled "I Hate Jesse Jones" with over 300 students joining this group.
What is this document?
It's the social media postings from the group.
Would you please read the blue underlined portion?
Lauren Hardy says, "Jesse stays smelling like dog doo-doo in summer heat." That's on September 2015 to 2016 at 1:34.
Do you remember what day of the week that was?
I believe it was a Thursday.
And did you know that that happened to be that would have been school day, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I
object to leading question.
Seem to rephrase. So that's sustained. Seem to rephrase without, as an open-ended question.
What time did you get out of school on September 15th?
3 o'clock.
Please read the other two dates of the social media postings.
November 23rd, 2016 at 8:45 and December 1st.
What day of the week were these, do you know?
I think those were both Thursdays as well.
What would you say was the harshest social media posting?
The picture of the gun, the caption, "This is for you."
Did the school contact you or ask you about any of this?
No.
I would like to enter into evidence Exhibit E, the anti-bullying policy of the Waukee School District.
Okay, so for the jury, this is Exhibit E. This is Waukee's anti-bullying policy.
Please read the defining bullying section of this document.
Defining bullying. Bullying is any gesture, written, verbal, graphic, or physical act that occurs on school grounds, at any school-sponsored event, or in a school vehicle. Bullying is conduct that 1. Is directed at one or more students, 2. Sustainably interferes with educational opportunities of one or more students, and 3. Adversely affects the ability of a student to benefit from Waukee High School's educational opportunities because the conduct, as reasonably perceived by the target student, is severe or offensive, or because the conduct places the targeted student in reasonable fear of physical harm or causes the targeted student emotional distress.
Would you say this bullying that Lauren made to you was a gesture?
Yes.
And it prevented you from coming to school?
Yes.
In what ways?
I was so scared of coming to school, I just wanted to lie in my bed and cry all day.
And What bullying did Lauren make to you that made you feel unsafe?
Picture of one made me scared for my life.
And this caused your attendance to drop? And what were your excuses for this? What did you tell people your excuse was instead of Lauren bullying you?
I said it was about video games, but it wasn't. I was just using the video games as an excuse.
No further questions. May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may. Cross.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
You met Lauren Hardy at a sophomore orientation, correct?
Yes.
At this orientation, you gave a fake phone number for your mother and father so you could skip school, did you not?
Yes.
And you and Lauren quickly became friends, did you not?
Yes.
She invited you to go skating at Skate West, correct?
Yes.
Moving forward, are you aware that cell phone policy at Waukee High School, or you are aware of the cell phone policy at Waukee High School, correct?
Yes.
And you still had your phone on during school hours, sending messages to Hardy, did you not?
Sure.
And when Hardy was sending you these messages, you were responding, were you not?
Yes.
When the social media group was created, you didn't ask Lauren to take it down, did you?
Can you hear the answers, Juror? Oh, make sure you're a little louder.
You did not ask Lauren to stop, did you?
I did ask her to stop.
You started skipping school to avoid Hardy, correct?
Yes.
And you were always planning on doing so, correct? And during this time, you were playing lots of video games, were you not? In fact, you stated that video games became your priority over your schoolwork you were missing, correct? Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time. May I sit down?
You may. You good there? Okay, witness may be seated. You're excused. I'm gonna hang on to the evidence. You got grills, but you made it through it, Ms. Jones. The prosecution, you may call your next witness.
Prosecution calls.
Oh, you're gonna have to rise to address this court, man.
Prosecution calls Dr. Gabriel Rodriguez.
All right, Dr. Gabriel Rodriguez, you may approach. Bailiff? We want you to stick to the truth.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, say,
Nothing but the truth.
yes, I do.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may. You good, Dr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay.
What is your current job?
I'm a physicist at St. John's
Psychologist, right?
Psychologist.
Psychologist.
What degree do you have?
I have a doctorate degree.
Did you diagnose Jessie with any severe mental illnesses?
Yes, I diagnosed her with PTSD.
When did you first help Jessie and her mother?
I first helped them when I took them on a tour of the academy.
How do you feel about the Waukee School District's anti-bullying policy?
I feel like it doesn't go far enough, and it should extend to all types of bullying in and off school.
And what would you have done differently if you were to write this policy?
I would have extended the policy to all types of bullying and extended it to in and off school.
What are the types of requirements that a student or person needs to be diagnosed with PTSD?
First, they need to live a threatening experience. Then they must relive that experience multiple times. Then they must experience avoidance symptoms. Fourth, they must experience hyperarousal symptoms. And fifth, these symptoms must be present over a month. And finally, these symptoms must affect the person's life in a negative way.
And how did Jessie meet these requirements?
She met every single requirement.
No further questions. May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may. Cross?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may. Jury, any questions at all? If at any point you're like, I don't know what's happening, just stop us and we'll make sure you know exactly what's happening, okay?
You work at St. Joseph's Academy, correct?
Yes, I do.
And St. Joseph's Academy is a private Christian school, correct?
Yes.
And the SJA even has prayer every day and requires its students to study theology and religion, does it not?
Yes.
And the annual tuition of St. Joseph's Academy is $20,000, yes?
Yes.
Moving forward, you've read the anti-bullying policy at Waukee High School, correct?
Yep.
And you feel it doesn't go far enough, right?
Yes.
You believe that the school should intervene in areas outside of its property or legal obligation, do you not?
Yes.
Moving forward, there are 6 criteria to a proper PTSD diagnosis, are there not?
Yes.
All 6 of these are requirements.
Yes.
So even if one is not met, there cannot be a diagnosis, right?
Yes.
In your diagnosis of Jesse, in the area of PTSD, you mentioned that deliberate avoidance is a requirement, is it not?
Yes.
And you said this was exemplified by Jesse skipping school, right?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez, were you here in trial today for the cross-examination of Jesse Jones?
Yes.
And you heard her testify under oath that she was planning on skipping school since the beginning of the school year. Did she not?
Yes.
If this happened before the alleged bullying even started, is it truly an example of avoidance? Therefore, Jesse doesn't meet all the requirements for a proper PTSD diagnosis, right?
Yes, no, or I don't know.
I'm not sure.
No further questions, Your Honor.
I would consider a redirect.
Yeah, we're gonna redirect.
We'll let you hang out for a second. And then, so for people going for the next trial, normally in trial, like, you need to be ready right away. I'll give you, like, just like if you went in for a rebuttal and debate, you weren't quite ready, we'll let you sit down and talk it out and get it going. But you just saw that she went pretty hard at this witness on cross. And so now you can try to bring it back to your side with a redirect. She went hard at you, huh?
Yeah.
That's scary.
You may. We'll have order in this court.
I would like to enter into evidence Exhibit G, the PTSD diagnostic test.
Bailiff? All right, for the jury, this is Exhibit G. This is the PTSD post-traumatic stress disorder diagnostic test that was administered by Dr. Rodriguez on Jesse Jones.
Please read every section that you have checked yes on and that Jesse Jones met.
The person experienced an event which was a threat of a actual death or serious injury. The person responded to the event with strong feelings of fear, helplessness, or horror. Frequent upsetting thoughts or memories about the traumatic event. Reoccurring nightmares. Making an effort to avoid thoughts, feelings, or conversations about the traumatic event. Making an effort to avoid places or people that remind one of traumatic event. Lost interest in important, once positive activities. Having a difficult time falling or staying asleep. Having a difficulty concentrating.
Would you say that what would you say the percentage of students who want to not come to school is? Just a guess.
Your Honor, I object to speculation.
I would say that this witness is not going to have knowledge of that statistic as a psychologist. So what's the information you're looking for? The amount of kids that skip school?
Just the amount of people that you is aware of that have skipped school.
And is this related to the PTSD? Like, just in general, how many skip school?
Well, yeah, so it's because the avoidance of this.
Okay. So Abigail's objecting, saying this isn't like a statistician or someone that works for the district that would have those statistics.
It doesn't say anywhere in his witness statement that he knows that statistic.
Yeah, so you'd either need to have him speak more generally, if he couldn't put a number on it, or you could ask it differently. That makes sense. Like, he cannot give you a statistic he doesn't know. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You could ask more generally, like, in your practice with PTSD, often patients miss school, or how frequent is that? Like, but you need to frame it in context of what you know.
Okay. So in your practice, how many students or how many patients you would say skip school because
all requirements for having PTSD as stated in the test?
Yes, it does.
Or no further questions?
All right. I'll grab that. You can be witness may be seated. You may. And then witness your excuse. Okay. For our next witness, we only have 3 left. This is a pretty small witness though, isn't it? Who's your last witness? Do you think we can get through direct in 3 minutes, or is it not worth it?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's okay. So what we'll do tomorrow is we're gonna finish the trial tomorrow. If for some reason it bleeds a little bit into passing, we're gonna keep him finish it. We'll get it done though, I think.
Yeah.
Because we only went for like 20-ish minutes today. I'm pretty sure we'll be good for tomorrow. Feel okay with that? Okay, I thought it was really awesome. Holy cow, come up here and get feedback.
Wait.
Quickly.
Yeah, people like
Lots
from the north side.
of knowledge and questions, easy to follow. Eye contact, facing, good gesture. Definitely an actor. Allison, you were professional, gesture, strong contact, voice, pauses, eye contact, motion. So you haven't exceeded. Lola,
How can you tell?
tons
Yeah,
of
I don't
evidence to support your ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Introducing 3 pieces of evidence on
And
one
one
direct
light.
examination was really cool.
One light.
Yep. Exceeding, well done. Keep up, clear, good answers. Exceeding. Evan, well rehearsed gestures, excitement. Abigail, good cross, professional, logical, emotional load. Really good job with the scrutinizing the PTSD diagnosis. No worries, where you go? California, where's California?
Yeah, I got this. I'm gonna go there.
Hey, lawyers that went today, let's get a picture of you by the podium.
I know.
They used to have
Get a picture of the lawyers. Lawyers, going up, lawyers, Lola, get a picture of the lawyers. Get on the other side here with the podium, there you go. You can choose to dress up tomorrow or not, that's you, okay? You don't have to dress up 2 days in a row if you don't want to.
For sure.
Hi, Jody.
Hey, are we doing the trial today? For 7 hours?
You're doing it today?
No, they're not. She said we're all the fines go up.
No. Close, there it goes. Oh no, it's a trap. Look, there it goes. I think you put them all on one side. Hey, what trial's going? Hey, you okay? You good?
Mr. Carr, I have a question.
Yes,
I'm one of the like witnesses. Can I bring my packet up?
you can. We're gonna give you 5, maybe 10 minutes to prep witnesses still today because first I didn't realize witnesses are graded on this, like they need to be. So we're gonna get as long as you try, you'll be fine. Oh no. What's her role then? What's her role?
She's on the.
Oh, she's on the second trial.
Whole lot of
All right, so what's the first trial?
Hardy.
Party, okay, so let's do party defense lawyers, party prosecution, party defense witnesses there, party prosecution witnesses there, everybody else, you're in the jury for Hardy.
Wait, can I have a
I do need a bailiff.
I'll do things.
We're going. Don't make us stop half.
You guys can figure it out. You good? Two are you in this trial?
One.
Are you a witness?
Is there a phone?
I didn't even care that much.
You are?
Just wanted to take it because you took it.
Yeah, I don't have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is video
Ready to-
She was going to be, but she wasn't here yesterday, so they trained.
You're part of the jury.
You're part of the jury?
Yes, you
Where do
are.
I sit?
Right here. Come on, dude.
Sit right to you, Carter. This is not a jury. It's not jury.
What? Yeah.
Oh, it is.
This whole thing is jury.
He's screaming.
He's live streaming.
We don't get through any trials today. So what is Trey's role? Who is
Wait, were you
working
here for
Trey
debate?
today?
Oh.
Is it for the second trial?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't present today. Later.
I practiced it.
Same thing here. I want you to take your witnesses and prep them on the camera about with that.
No, wait, is the next trial tomorrow or Thursday?
The next trial will probably not start until Thursday. We'll see. Last trial, we got through openings and the first two witnesses. So it depends on how thorough the trials are as to how long they take. Some take-
Wait, didn't someone get destroyed on cross-examination?
Yes, last period, Abigail shredded Dr. Gabriel Rodriguez on cross. All right, what trial is this? Is this Hardy? Right, perfect. These jury instructions are your same jury instructions. To find guilty, you have to find both of those. Okay? Jury, what you need to do is, these are your instructions here. The prosecution must prove both of those. Okay, for you to find guilty. Trial,
Questions.
if you're sure, this last one.
There's a person on there.
But I mean, it was like, and then this group is working on that too. Emily will be a lawyer on Tuesday, or Thursday. If you want her to go at it. There you go. Are you feeling good about yours? Feeling better? Okay. It's a little cold. We're gonna give them about 3-4 minutes. People on the live stream, about 5 minutes till trial. There's only one of them.
Yeah, there's only one.
Who is it?
Is there a way to tell?
I don't think so.
What's
it on?
YouTube.
No, John.
Ask them to comment.
I'm going to, for the openings, I'm gonna move it up here, and then for the for the witness statements, I'm gonna move it here so we can see the witness.
He spent 150 bucks.
On what?
Dogecoin.
You got games on your phone?
Oh, thanks. We took it from upstairs and we
Why?
commandeered it. It's now ours.
Wait, why?
I don't know. Just goes.
I mean, someone gave it.
Does it go up or down?
If he goes up to $1, I make a ton of money.
So we're taking.
Did it go up or down yet?
It hasn't. He just.
All right, what you need to read's on there.
Okay.
That's the first thing you read. And then that's how you swear in witnesses. You want to use this book.
Alright, where would you
Swear
get
in.
that?
Try to find your left hand on the book, the right hand in the air.
Those are just words meant
They
to
put their,
to
do I put my
find
hand in there?
No, they do
Okay.
that. I guess you can put yours in your.
You can read
I'm making stuff up based off movies. I'm not sure if that's it.
We'll go in there.
And you can be like, and it says that you want to stop the situation and start.
I mean, I don't know what else.
Wait, Shrey, are you not on the trial?
What?
Are you not on the trial? So who's on the trial? Do they only have 2 witnesses?
Modest.
How do you have a witness for liability and policy issues?
Who wants to be corporate photographer today?
Just take pictures?
Yeah.
I can do it. I'm sure you can do
Big
it.
student though. So you're gonna just get pictures throughout the trial, maybe get some pictures of people getting sworn in. If someone steps away from that podium, definitely get a picture of them like questioning. But like anything that's gonna be like, oh, that looks like a. I'll put 10 of them on Instagram at the end of the day. I'll give this to each class.
Will you tag me if I'm in?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh my.
Your next question was,
What?
when did
Oh
this,
my.
Pokemon.
Oh, come on now. Don't act like it's not the best game. Oh, really, Andrew? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're going and see the YouTube okay about your trial?
Yeah.
And you don't leave early, any of you, right?
Nope.
So this will be finished by today?
No, probably not. I mean, it depends, but probably not. And then for my witnesses, for the next trial, you're all here through break, right? until you're here all this week.
Yeah.
About this.
Ooh, the boys game.
Oh yeah, that's
good.
boys game. Will if they win on Wednesday afternoon, they'll probably play on Thursday during the day. Most
But it's probably going to be in the afternoon, I think.
Okay, at least that won't affect us. That will affect other
So
classes.
then.
It's. I think all of the games
If
are
you
after
are
school.
presenting, like I can figure out someone else to be there. If you're a lawyer, I need to hear them. So otherwise, I got no way to grade you. But if you're a witness, like I can be you that day if I had to.
Because you could physically tell she was upset.
All right, lawyers, let's wrap it up.
It's only one person. Did you? Where'd you buy that?
This is I graduated, and this is the graduation gown.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
Yep. Hey, does anyone else need something printed for their trial today?
I don't know.
Just remind me and I can print it at the end of today. Yeah,
We're not able to print any of the evidence and stuff because, Anna can't
Betty,
find her
I'll
friend.
be the judge if I
For
can.
what?
For her.
And then Mr. Kerr has to be the judge.
Yeah, just share it with me right now.
And then, and you want to do like.
You're like Inspector Quinn. Inspector Quinn. It's like from the like one of the shows. Like you know, like Judge Judy, but it's like it's a different judge. And then his inspector guy, like the bailiff, is named Inspector Quinn.
So Mr. Kerr.
His name is Quinn, and he's the inspector.
Yeah, I understand that part. Like, I think I picked up on it.
It's kind of like Judge Judy, except it's a Boston guy, the judge. And he's like Colton, you know?
Mr. Kerr, the boys' games are until 6 and 8.
Perfect.
It's after school. And
Yeah.
Friday, it's not till 8 or something like that.
Tomorrow.
7:30.
That would have been frustrating, as I would have had to have rooted against our team at that point,
Why?
so that I actually have
would've-
students here.
They would have not lost either. So that would have been.
All right, Kaylin, that'll be on the printer.
My seat's right behind the bench. For the game.
I don't even know where
Trinity, why don't you shut that door behind you there so it's not loud when people are coming around?
Yeah,
It's
because.
a rain tomorrow. We're gonna go downtown early.
Because it was during the 2016.
It's just a rain tomorrow.
All right, I'm going to move this for here for the openings, and then for the
And for number 7, you can just write down.
and then for the witness after the two openings, I'll move it back over here. All right, we're good, lawyers. Okay, witnesses. Come on over. Let's have witnesses back here, lawyers here. So witnesses behind lawyers, and then anything else you need from me, witnesses or lawyers. When you're presenting, let's see, you need to be at least 6 feet away from everyone. So if you're here, as long as Braden was to not be sitting there, you'd be fine. Like you need to move if you were to take your mask off. You may move that chair over there. If you are going to step away from the podium, you need to keep your mask on though, because obviously that can be an issue. I don't have my computer because I'm using it to live stream. I will upload the live stream at the end so people can see it. I'm writing all your feedback on this oversized piece of paper, and you'll get that at the end of today. I'm excited, I'm not gonna lie. Our first hour's trial was awesome. And I know you put a bunch of work into yours too. Questions from lawyers at all?
Nope.
Okay, this is my bailiff. When you have to give evidence, he's the one that will grab it from you. And then witnesses, you'll be sitting here. All right, you've got it, bailiff.
All rise, the Honorable Judge Kerr presiding.
You may be seated. All right, we're here to hear the case of the state versus Waukee High School. Charges are in front of you, jurors, so you know prosecution must prove number 1 and number 2 to prove liability and negligence. Okay. We'll have the prosecution opening statement.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
I'll take my mask off for
You can. Let's have Braden step back a bit, and then Cole. Actually, let's have you go back. You need to be 6 feet away from her if she's taking her mask off. So let's have you maybe put that next to Anna. You may proceed. You're good.
Hello, I'm Ava Osberg, and today we are here because of the unfortunate incident that took place at Waukee High School with Lauren Hardy and Jesse Jones. Today, my co-attorney Braden Strobel and I are going to be showing everyone here that this series of events was not an accident. This was purposely passed off by Principal Lee, which is shown in the Exhibit C. And this shows an email where she just pushes aside the acknowledged problem, as well as her own rules and policies, shown in the Exhibits D and E. Today, we will be proving that the Jones family made the correct decision by pressing charges against WHS. Let me tell you a little bit about this case. Lauren Hardy and Jesse Jones started talking to each other before school started. When school started, they were both sophomores. After school started, they both hung out with each other at a roller skating rink with a group of friends. And Jones claimed this was the first time that Hardy started bullying her. You will see in Exhibits A and B that Hardy was bullying her on social media during school hours and on school grounds. You will even see that she made an account on social media and named it I Hate Jesse Jones. On this account, more than 300 students have joined. And at this point, Hardy was committing first and third degree harassment. Being on the prosecution, I would like you to listen as we roll out the facts about this case. Maybe seat your honor.
You may. Defense opening.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Hello, my name is Delaney Bolt, and I am the defense representing the Waukee High School. We are here today because the Waukee High School was wrongly charged with liability and negligence. During the course of the trial, you will see Exhibit C, the email correspondence between Cook and Lee. It will show you that they said they would take care of the situation if Jesse would have come back when it got worse, and they were following their policies, which is why they did not think that when Jesse first came to Cook, they did not need to be handled at the time. You also see Exhibit E, the bullying policy. It will clearly show you the beliefs of the Waukee High School about bullying, and that Waukee High School followed it correctly and completely. The witnesses who will testify today include Jesse Jones, Francis Jones, and Dr. Gabriel Rodriguez, and the defendants, Julie Cook, Brenda Lee, and Lauren Hardy. Jesse Jones will clearly say that she did not properly report the situation, meaning the school cannot properly handle it. You also hear from Brenda Lee, and she will testify that her staff was not only not properly reported the problem, but according to the policies, they were unable to do anything and they did not violate the policy. You will see that the Waukee High School is charged with 2 crimes, liability and negligence. The defense will prove that Waukee High School did not commit the crime of liability. We will prove this by showing the staff would have addressed the situation if it had been known, even with 1,800 students in the school at the time. Waukee High School is also charged with negligence. The defense will prove that Waukee High School did not commit the crime of negligence. We will prove this by showing that the situation was not properly and adequately reported, and if reported properly, would have been taken care of. We ask you to find the defendant not guilty on all charges. Thank you.
You may be seated. All right, defense, or I'm sorry, prosecution, you can call your first witness. You need to rise to address this court, ma'am. You gotta call him up, so you call him.
Your Honor, this time the prosecution would like to call Dr. Gabriel Rodriguez to the stand.
Dr. Rodriguez, please approach Bailiff Andrew.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
What do you do for your job?
I'm a PhD in psychology and school psychiatrist at St. Joseph's Academy.
Well, in your last statement, you stated that you read the Waukee High School bullying policy and felt that it did not go far enough. What did you mean by this, if you care to elaborate?
Well, I think it should cover bullying outside of school grounds as well, such as complicit. Waukee doesn't do a great job at covering things that happen outside of school.
Do you think if this policy is not altered or changed, that this would happen again?
Yes, they're not doing anything about it.
No further questions?
Yeah, no further questions, Your Honor.
All right,
Yeah.
you may. Cross?
Your Honor.
You may.
How much does a tuition cost for a SHA?
For public school,
For the private school, right?
Right.
The private school education. So no, so Jesse now goes to a private school, okay? And so he's telling us how much that private school costs.
$29,000 per year.
And did you tell that fact to Miss Jones while giving her the tour?
It's up to you. I think you did.
Now, you met Jesse Jones in her home on December 2nd of 2016, correct? And Miss Jones has already enrolled Jesse into your school.
Yeah.
Now, do you know how many students you have in your school?
Not exactly.
And do you believe that every student that has a problem comes to you when they have a problem? So are you technically assuming that they do? And if a student came up to you and if a student did not report a problem to you, would it be your school's fault to the fact that bullying was happening in school even though they did not properly report a problem?
You got to, so be a little louder. So you can't nod or shake your head, but you got to give a verbal answer.
No.
No further questions, Sean.
All right, witness is excused. You may call your next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, the prosecution would like to call Frances Jones to the stand.
Ms. Jones, you may approach.
Place your left hand on the book and your right hand here. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Can you tell me what you do for your job?
I'm a full-time day manager at Milwaukee.
How many kids do you have? Are you married?
I'm a divorced single mother of 4 kids.
Did transferring your daughter to St. Joseph Academy put you in a financial struggle as well as the counseling?
Yes, because the school is $20,000 and not including the therapy, which is $200 per visit, which gives me like $10,800. That alone is only half a year. Next year I'll have to pay full, which is $40,800.
Do you think that the school's harassment case is the main reason that you had Jones transferred?
Yes, because I don't want my kid going to a school that doesn't care if she's getting harassed and outside being threatened. I was upset that the school immediately didn't.
No further questions, Your Honor. May I be seated?
You may. Cross.
Can I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
You are now applying for a private school in the therapist, correct? And did you say in your written statement that Harvey was the cause of your financial stress? But did you not choose to put her in a private school and pay for an expensive therapist? You went to the principal's office after finding out about the messages, correct?
Yes.
And during your conversation with the principal, did the principal show any sign of knowing how truly bad the situation had gotten? And did the principal try and solve the problem with you? Do you know the self and bullying policy at the Waukee High School?
Your Honor, at this time, the defense would like to introduce into evidence exhibit B, the bowling policy.
I've got the bowling policy here, unless you have one highlighted that you need. I've got one here, bailiff. All right, so this is Exhibit E, the anti-bullying policy, implemented August 1st, 2010 for Waukee High School.
So according to the bowling policy, not only did your daughter not properly report to the school how bad it was getting, but she never told you, and you had to find out from a different parent that had just found out, correct? And in the end, you not only solved the problem by moving Jessie Jones to a different school, but also putting in her therapy, meaning she's now away from her. No further questions, Your Honor.
Can I redirect?
You may. You're going to stay there because she's going to ask you more questions.
May I proceed?
You may.
Your Honor, at this time, the prosecution would like to introduce Exhibit F.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
All right. I'll grab it. Or good, we'll give it to the bailiff. There you go, bailiff. All right. Thank you, bailiff. Exhibit G, PTSD. Is that F? This is the PTSD test.
Yeah.
Okay. It says G.
I know, but when you guys redid it. it
Gotcha.
only went
Exhibit F, PTSD diagnostic test.
Can you go to the next slide? Can you look to the back page? Can you tell me what the diagnosis is, please? Okay, and earlier you said that your daughter is now in counseling, correct? Okay. So this PTSD is causing your daughter counseling, right? Okay, well, is the harassment case what is causing your daughter the counseling? No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. You may be seated. And then you can, I'll tend to this here. You can reference it later, and you can call your last witness.
Your Honor, this time prosecution would like to call Jessie Jones to the stand.
Jessie Jones, you may approach. We're on here at 50, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's looking in the book right now. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Jessie, can you tell me about the first time Hardy started bullying you?
Yeah, the first time Hardy started bullying me was at a roller rink. And the first time she started bullying me, I was just really surprised because, I thought I had a friend. I was just a new kid moving to a new school. And when she started bullying me, it just really shocked me.
Okay, when Hardy posted that picture of a gun and said, "This is for you," how did this make you feel?
That made me feel very threatened because I didn't know what her intentions were. I didn't know if it was manipulation or if she was trying to threaten me. And she knew where I lived, so I didn't know if I could, even go on the street. I didn't know if I could go outside. And I was honestly scared just forever. Like, it was constant fear, and it felt like no one could help.
Okay. And towards the middle of the school year, do you know why Counselor Cook called you down to her office?
Yeah, it was because I had bad grades because I was not attending school because of the harassment. From Hardy.
Okay, and what did you tell her? What did you tell the counselor?
I asked for help, and she said she would look into it and tell Principal Lee, but I never got that. So it was almost like, Hardy and her were teaming together because she never helped.
Okay. Your Honor, the prosecution will now like to bring out Exhibit C.
Bailiff. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is Exhibit C, email correspondence between Cook and Lee. So this is between the counselor and the principal.
Okay, and can you please read off what the top email says?
Hello, Principal Lee. I just had a 10th grade student in here, Jessie Jones, who was pretty upset about another student, Lauren Hardy. Apparently, Hardy was sending Jones some nasty texts and social media messages. If you know anything about either of these students or either of them in trouble, just wanted to check with you.
Okay, now would you read the second one, please?
This is for emailing me about the situation. It's always pretty good. You know, we already had classes from last year and in junior high. It was silly stuff, and she has since agreed to behave. I want to remind you of the boundaries we have in place regarding cell phone and social media. Neither is allowed at WHS. Thus, problems that students are having that involve these platforms beyond the scope of our review. Please refer to WHS anti-bullying and cell phone policy for more info. Unless you hear from Jesse Jones about this incident, I don't think you need it any further. It's probably just too much.
Okay, now can you tell me how you feel reading those emails going back and forth between them?
It feels like they're kind of just not trying to help me, you know, it's like they're kind of just passing it on, you know, it feels like they don't really want to put in the work to try to help me. So it's like they're not trying to help me.
Your Honor, at this time, the prosecution would like to bring in exhibits A and B.
Thank you, officer. All right, so we have Exhibit B, which are social media postings from August 15th to September 1st. Lauren Hardy created a social media group titled I Hate Jesse Jones with over 300 students following. And then these are text messages between Lauren Hardy and Jesse Jones.
Okay, so in exhibit A, would you please give me the text messages on both sheets?
Nobody likes you. You have no friends. I don't care. I would care if I were you, but I'm not an ugly slob. But I'm not an ugly slob like you. Jesse, you're the best person I've ever seen. Why are you doing this? What did I do to you? You come to school with your ridiculous haircut and clothes. Even the teachers hate you. Did you get those jeans from your mom's closet? Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Clearly, you know, those dead ass mom jeans. And your hair looks like it's soaked and dumped in soil still. Stop sucking up to a teacher loser. Stop texting me.
Okay, and it's hard, so it shows that Hardy was texting you during class. But I would like you to look at exhibit B. Can you tell me, like, how you're feeling all these things are being posted about you?
Well, Hardy obviously she was obviously sending me bad texts, and she posted, you know, a group that 300 people joined, trying to bully me. So I felt really embarrassed by this, and yeah, I felt really embarrassed and shocked because of that.
Okay, and during your last statement that you gave in your last court case, you said that while Hardy was harassing you, that the teachers would laugh along with what the rude things that she was saying with these students. Is this a true statement, and can you explain how and why?
Yeah, that's a true statement. In the middle of class, Hardy would just loudly say mean things about me and just bully me and harass me. And the teachers would just laugh along with it. So it's almost like the teachers and Hardy, like I said before, they're teaching together. It's like this doing absolutely nothing about this. Like the teachers are not reporting anything, and they're just completely. It's just like I can't go anywhere for help. And throughout my years, you know, people have told me to go to school to get help, and I tried doing that, and it's just no help.
How do you feel that this could have been dealt with before it got way out of hand?
I could have gone to the guidance counselor, or my teachers could have helped when they first saw Hardy bullying me, but no one helped me, so it escalated and it got me.
Okay, and one last question. So when you got transferred to St. Joseph's Academy, did you feel better, or how did it make you feel being transferred?
When I transferred, I felt a lot more safe without Hardy bullying me, and I feel like the teachers there are just much more, they understood my situation a lot better than the WHS. The teachers at WHS, like, they just did not help at all. I felt a lot more safe than Hardy was for sending me.
No further questions, Your Honor. You're seated.
You may. Cross. Any questions from the jury at all? If at any point you're not sure what's happening or you want clarification, like we can't do it in a real trial, but raise your hand, we'll literally answer your question, okay?
May I proceed, sir?
You may.
You went to Miss Cook's office, correct?
Yeah.
And after to Miss Cook, she told you to come out if anything just was, correct?
Yeah.
And did you ever go back to report when the problem started at once?
No, but she never told me. She never told me.
You
You
and
can
her,
also object if that's what you're talking about. It doesn't have to be delinquent. That's what you were looking for.
Objecting,
So you need to rise to do that.
objection, Your Honor. Please direct the witness to respond with yes or no.
Okay, so you can keep trying to elaborate, but if you try to elaborate, they can object to it. But it's okay to try to elaborate if you want to.
you and Hardy met on August 21st, 2016, correct? And you said the problem started the day you went to sleep west.
Yeah.
Now, you and Hardy were in a group of friends, and was Hardy the only one teasing you about it?
Yeah.
Your Honor, at this time, the defense would like to introduce into evidence Exhibit B, reintroduce Exhibit B as well, the social media posting.
Okay, and we have those. Can we use these ones, or do you have a different one that you need? All right, you've already got those.
Now, can you please read the top paragraph explaining about the social media?
It is confirmed that sometime in August 15, 2016, this is for 2016, Warren Hardy created a social media group titled I Hate Jesse Jones. Over 300 students joined this group. Excerpt from this group profile have been listed below. Hard degree and stipulate that the following selected text messages are represented. Examples of these messages. The student's name is listed after each post on the page.
Now, according to what you just read, it says over 300 students joined that. So, Hardy was not the only one bullying you over time, correct? Now, did you ever go to talk to any adult you trust after this call?
No.
When your mom started in the principal's office, did the principal know how bad it had gotten?
Yes, no, or I don't know.
Yeah. No.
And it's okay if you don't know to say I don't know.
Your Honor, at this time, the defense would like to introduce into evidence Exhibit E, the Waukee High School Board policy.
I've got one. Can you- Or is there already one? Okay, so this is the Waukee anti-bullying policy implemented August 1st, 2010.
Now, can you read the Waukee High School Board policy?
Bullying is any gesture or written, verbal, graphic, or physical act that occurs on school grounds at any school-sponsored event or in a school vehicle. Bullying is conducted that is directed at one or more students, subsequently inferences with education opportunities of one or more students, and adversely affects the ability of students to benefit from WHS educational opportunities because the conduct as reasonably perceived by the targeted student is severe or offensive, or because the conduct places the targeted student in reasonable fear of any physical harm or cause the targeted student emotional distress.
You see it. Some time with your co-counsel.
No, I'm sorry, I need to figure out where one of the places were.
Okay.
Can you read the administration's procedure for responding to reporting?
So the green portion. And here, you know what? I think I do a lot of reading today. Administration procedures for responding to reports of bullying. The Waukee High School principal is responsible for receiving complaints alleging bullying. All school employees are required to report alleged bullying to the principal. The principal is required to conduct a prompt and thorough investigation of each alleged bullying incident that is reported to him or her.
So according to the policy, the problem was technically not properly reported to the principal in the end, correct? No more questions, Your Honor.
Redirect, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
I need to say that.
You're good.
Okay, so after you read Exhibit B, I need you to tell, did Hardy cause you emotional distress?
Yes.
Okay, so, which was proven by your PTSD report by Dr. Gabriel Rodriguez.
Yes.
While you have been at St. Joseph Academy, what is the difference between WHS and St. Joseph Academy that you can tell so far?
The teachers are much, they help me a lot more. They just more, they help me a lot more.
So while you were at WHS, was it just Hardy mainly bullying you, or was it like kind of everyone picking on you, but Hardy mainly harassing you?
Harvey started bullying me mainly, and other students joined in, but it was.
No further questions, Your Honor. May I be seated?
You may. Witness may be seated. You may call your first witness defense.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to call Lauren Hardy to the stand.
Lauren, you may approach Ms. Hardy.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may.
When did you send those texts? Were they mostly at school?
The first set of text messages was sent at around 10:25 a.m. and the second set was sent at around 8:27 a.m. And some of them were at school and some were not.
And were you aware of the fact that you were breaking cell phone policy?
Yes, at times it was.
And did you attempt to cause any stress to Joan?
I did not intend. I thought she would understand. We were all just messing around.
And you were not the only one posting these things on social media about Joan?
No, there were others.
Did you ever intend for it to get this far?
I never intended it for it to get so out of hand, and I thought she would realize we were all just messing around.
Also, if Joan had asked you to stop, would you?
I would have immediately, but she didn't, which led me to think she understood we were joking.
You've had some troubles in the past, correct?
Yes, I have.
And you have decided to move on.
Yes, I have left those in my box behind me.
How many others were also joined in the bullying?
There were many others within the bullying of me.
Your Honor, at this time, the defense would like to introduce evidence of Exhibit B, the social media posting from the group I Hate Jesse Jones. How many people were on this online group?
There are around 300 people in the group.
If you are not the only one posting these things, do you know why you're the only one here that's in trouble?
No, I'm not quite sure. There were significant others.
Do you think it's fair that you're the only one on trial?
I do not. There were many others, and I feel like I should not have been the one thrown under the bus.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You may be seated. Cross.
No, go.
And this will probably be our last witness today, okay? You may proceed.
Can you tell us about the night that you went to the post skating rink?
I went out with some friends and Jesse, and we've been sitting around, and they made jokes about her clothes, but we were all just messing around.
Is it true that they're saying pretty mean things to Jesse Jones?
Yes.
Then why were you harassing her, even though you guys have been great friends since the start of school?
I don't know.
Did you or did you not post rude and hurtful things on social media during school hours?
I did.
I would like to the prosecution would like to reintroduce Exhibit A, the text between Lauren Hardy and Jesse Jones. Here you go. Can you look at the last text, I believe? One second, can I see it really quick, please?
That will be your last text.
Yes, that one, please. Yep. Yes, that is supposed to be Jesse Jones. And can you read that out for us, please?
Stop texting me in class.
So she did ask you to stop. Why didn't you stop after this?
I don't know.
Were you aware that you were breaking both of the Waukee High School anti-bullying and anti-cell phone policies during this time?
Not completely.
Why didn't you know? You informed of the bullying policy and cell phone policy?
Yes, they are.
Didn't she say to stop texting in class?
Yes.
So why did you stop after that?
I don't know.
What the defense says that you shouldn't be the only one on trial, but you are not on trial. We are trying to prove this school, but you are just the main starter of this. No further questions, Your Honor.
You can redirect if you want tomorrow. Cool. All right, so we'll start with you on our redirect if you want to. Otherwise, you can call up your notes tomorrow. We'll finish this trial tomorrow. We'll finish this trial on Thursday. Anybody gone Friday in this class? All right, we're good to go. Hey, welcome. Stay up here if you want today. I want to get your feedback. Also, photographer, lawyers, get up on the podium. Let's get a picture of all the lawyers together. The lawyers we went today.
So far.
Lawyers, come on up. Lawyers, come on up. All right, why don't you come up on the podium now? There you go.
What?
And then you can choose to dress up again. All right, let's get you some feedback though. Ava, very loud and professional and passionate, lots of gestures, good voice, easy to follow. It's really engaging. Hey, all right, Brayden, very, a lot of emotion in your voice.
I don't know.
Oh, someone's watching.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm in the next class.
How's your guys' day?
You can say something in the chat.
Anna, you had lots of good eye contact, emotion in your voice. I thought that your points that you were making were really good. It was well presented, so you did a good job.
Jiffy.
Are they ready for trial in this class? So I told them they should be ready. So today would be Landry and Seth. I should be the witness. So and so this is, we have to talk with everyone just so we know, I didn't know if people are leaving early. That's fine. I don't think we need a whole day to prepare, but I think you can prepare with lunch start today. I'm finding that these trials are taking 2 days, depending on how much people to this. But the first hour, we didn't even get halfway through. All right, I'm going to run the office and stop running here. Plug it. If we can get prosecution, defense, and then witnesses, let's give them our good your hat. Did you straighten your hair just to wear the hat?
No.
You may use
Probably look a bit fine without the hat. Probably a little bit fine either way.
What?
Probably a little bit fine either way.
Oh yeah, I know. I was.
No, they're on the side.
Are you in a trial? Okay. Yeah, well, I don't know what you're. Yeah. Your child on today? Positive.
Oh wait, I think, do we put our stuff in the box?
Oh, okay. So you're probably not going today.
I'm just gonna set my stuff down. Yeah. I'm already done. What side are you? He said not. I don't know when that depends. We should not be going today because we didn't figure anything and I didn't bring anything. You didn't bring, did you bring your questions?
Come on up here, lawyers.
Did you bring your
So lawyers
questions?
that
and
were
no
scheduled to start today, come on, the first trial. That was the Lane trial, come on up.
I mean, we're.
You can hold it right now. Are you a lawyer? Okay, you were
But
chat.
there's some
Yeah,
people.
you're
Yeah,
a
some people
You're a
aren't
lawyer.
gonna be there, right?
So, and then are any of you gone leaving early this week for spring break?
I am Friday.
Friday, okay.
I'm a witness right now.
And you're a witness for this trial. Okay. So, how are we feeling about trial? We give you time today, though, to wrap and stuff. We were emailing that, we were
It'll
emailing
be fine.
that. So one thing we're thinking about pushing it back. I would not say we can push it back to start tomorrow because tomorrow's an early out and I'm finding some of these are taking 2 full class periods. So we need part of today and then Wednesday to finish. And then Thursday, we also need to get through your trial so that your witness can be here for it. We can't have her. You're gone Friday and Thursday or just Friday? Has anybody gone early? Anyone else gone early?
I'm leaving.
Who was leaving tomorrow?
I was gonna live stream because my mom said she.
Tomorrow? Probably around 11? Around 11.
Mom said she
I'm
was
talking
live.
to Kelly right now.
Yeah, first meeting leaving at 11, so I wouldn't.
Okay, are you a witness?
Yeah.
And for which, the first or the second trial?
The
The
second.
second trial, okay. So you're not gonna be a witness regardless, we won't get to that. I will be your witness, okay, so we'll figure it out. Cool? For your trials, I wanna give you like 10 minutes now to prep witnesses. Do you need anything besides witness prep time? Like, do you have, you're open, so you're close, you're not gonna get too close today. But I'll tell you what would happen. We'll give you like 10 minutes to prep witnesses, if that's cool. And then. I'm not going over this. Hey, we would normally go out the door right there and be on the sidewalk. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do 10 minutes to prep witnesses. You'll get through your openings, closings, and then prosecution will so you'll probably do your direct. We may or may not get this. But that works for you. Okay. And I know you get the rest of go with that. Hey, so my people that are on trial starting today, can we have tomorrow be your dress up day instead?
Sure.
Or your dress up?
I wasn't gonna dress
You don't
up.
have to dress up tomorrow if you don't want to. All right.
I wasn't gonna dress up.
It's up to you. All right, hey, for my, who are my 3 witnesses for prosecution on first trial? 1, 2, Brady. Okay, why don't you 3 get that? And then who are your 3 witnesses with Seth? Hey, I already have the live stream going, so we're good.
And my mom said she can't see it, she wants to see it.
Okay, so if she can't see it, then it's gonna be recorded, it'll get posted online, I'm not gonna delay it.
Can I go say hi?
So who are my witnesses?
Hi guys, I'm Sylvana. Who's on? I can't tell. What?
The one person. That's all that's on.
How's your day going? We're in school if you didn't know.
Obviously.
Okay, maybe they didn't know.
Do not worry about that, my man. If she can't get on, we'll get, it's all being recorded and she can watch it once I post it, okay?
So we need to go for our witnesses.
Yeah.
Are you feeling okay here, or are you talking to the live stream? Okay, so you are my jurors today, okay? So you're gonna be sitting here. The first trial is at Lane, then?
Yeah,
So
Lane.
can I get these back from you? Can we pile these and give you these back? And I'll give you the jury.
Bye. I love you.
Okay, these are your jury instructions for Lane.
You need these?
Did you get a haircut?
No, I just straightened my hair.
Nice. I'll take those back from you. This is how we prove guilt or innocence. Or guilty or not guilty, I should say. Who else is not a witness in this one over here? Okay, so I want you to read through that and see each charge to understand it. This is a very complex case.
When you were asking questions, did you like skip some of the You have to make sure you say every single question. Because all of the questions matter.
So
to
what's
try and
his
get-
role?
Okay?
We'll ask what Hayden needs. And Hayden will know what she has, and we'll just, Seth will have what he has. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
Can I share something? Because if you don't ask every single
Problem
question,
at the end of class.
then
Or you don't do it now. It's fine.
that question what says to the jury that the winner.
Well, have you shared the questions that you're gonna ask me? Yeah.
You want to answer it?
Or did you get?
We've done it live stream.
You already got yours.
I hear you still live stream, so I'll email her if she has the link. If she can't get on, that's okay. Sometimes that happens. The video will be posted tonight. She can watch it tonight. Oh, through your computer? Just do that. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, do that. We're good.
We should all do a Google Meet.
All right, and Nicholas, you're still working on yours, is that right? How's it going? Doing well.
Are you gonna need me to make an issue for you guys now?
Ours are supposed to be open.
Perfect, just click notify, it'll go right to me. All right, make sure you read that, and then I need to see if you have any questions about those charges, because it is a pretty complex case.
Oh, I shared the thing with you.
You shared it with me, cool. Give me one.
Kelly, I'll do the thingy next class. Oh, gosh, you're gonna say that there was a matter that people have surveys on. I
Do you know the real name of the people who changed, or is that all you know about?
No, I watched Criminal Minds. At least I'm being honest. So negative. That's all my grades.
Sometimes the bigger the small, the bigger money is the bigger, but you have more fun.
I didn't know that I was gonna get off. Wait, does that mean we have to like dress up and look nice?
Yeah,
So what kind of like? I'm wearing I'm not sweatshirt. Oh, we have to Hey, why is my mug on the floor? I don't know where That's not my mug, but I claim it. You drink it. You drink it. No, she drinks it. Guys, I'm gonna talk to the lighting people. Okay, so then you love one. Let's see how many more fans we have.
We're still at 1.
Reagan, did you flatten your hair?
Hey,
It's Silvana. This is my outfit. This is my outfit. This thingy from Paxton, shorts from Lulu, and then that's Maya, my identity. This is from Nike. Nike shorts are from Shein. Shoes are from Nike. It'll probably be Drippy. Drippy. You guys should add me on Snap at Silvana_Canela. That's SILVANA_CANELA.
Savannah, there's only one person.
Well, maybe not even. He's gonna post it, so other people that end up seeing it are gonna.
He's probably gonna edit this out. whooped.
No, he won't.
Yeah, he whooped.
Ready?
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and this is gonna be on. And parents are gonna see this. Probably your
They
parents.
can't see it because it's under the Waukee Community School District. My mom got to see my debate when I live streamed it, so I'm taking it over.
Seth, talking about when he chose.
Silvana.
Let's do it.
You know there's only one person on the live stream, right?
Yeah, that's why I told him.
Can you print my stuff out? and put it on my
If you
laptop?
shared it with me, then yes, I can.
Yeah, I have. I shared my entire thing. I shared everything with you.
Perfect. All right. Silvana, yours is about to be printed. Share it with me right now so it sends me an email, okay?
Okay.
Should be.
Oop, you know what I need to do?
I love your shirt. Thank you. Guys, don't forget to use hand sanitizer.
You
Wear your mask.
can't. They can't see you.
Yeah, they can. The camera's on.
Mm.
And stay 6 feet away from everyone. Move.
I just touched you.
Drippy, Mr. Kurger.
Yeah, I got the
Here we go.
He's drippy.
Look out, guys. Mr. Cruz is a model.
Mm.
All right. Is there a plug back here? My computer's dying. I'm going to maybe I can use
Oh, there's
this.
an outlet on the floor.
Let's do it.
Savannah, there's many outlets on your
You know what? Even let me have my moment.
No.
What?
Where's your bag?
My bag? It's in the first pocket inside the zipper.
I shared it with you.
I do clerical work for them.
It's not in the big one, it's in the first one.
Josie, do you need this printed?
Oh my god, I never had a this one.
And then I haven't had one come through from you, my man.
I just resent it.
Okay, let's see. It just probably hasn't come through yet. All right, Silvana, yours should be on the printer. Josie, yours should be on the printer. And I haven't, let me see yours.
How am I gonna clean off the camera? It's still loading.
What? Oh.
Oh, I'm gonna go to my computer.
Oh, that helps.
And then you're doing
I just sent something, printed something Josie sent me.
that, and then
How
like
can you
this, you
clean off my
begin. This you just
camera?
The camera?
Yeah, because no.
Dude, I wouldn't even worry about your it doesn't look like live stream is gonna work for you.
Presiding.
I don't know why.
It's probably blocked.
Even though he has
So that you can't use all that bandwidth. I bet they're not letting kids live stream.
I could just record it.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
I'll record it.
Okay.
We're out of here.
All right, let's get lawyers and witnesses in here. Lawyers here, witnesses behind them. If you need extra time to prep, let me know. We can get you extra time.
How are we gonna face? Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, they can see it. So I'm gonna have to make sure the judge can be seen.
And you know, I'm doing the exact same thing, right, buddy?
This is just for my mom
I hear you.
or anyone who else would like to see you.
What would you like me to say? Thanks up here, prosecutor.
There we go. It's recording. Thank you. And then you go on to the bottom. So.
Oh, let's go take a look. Something didn't print that needed to print. There it
This
is.
is for Brayden. This is also for, this is for Lydia. This is for Logan. This is Kate. And this is for,
Let's say to start the trial. Let's
No
say to
name.
start people in, they put one hand
Wait,
here,
where's
one hand in the air. I guess I can't put her hand in the air, but not the
is yours the no name? No.
All right, witnesses back
I'm
here,
not
feeling
that
okay?
dog.
Okay, you feeling good? Cool. Seth, you good? Yep. All right. What is it?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. Yeah. What else do you need? So Josie sent me something, so I printed all that.
Yes, but only one page.
I think they just handed you the rest. Silvana had it. Silvana, did you hand those to them that printed?
I gave it to Mr. DeMarco. No.
I'll just print it again.
Are these the questions that's all?
Mine also didn't get printed.
Your what?
Mine didn't get printed. So you have to ask the.
So you probably have all of Alexis' stuff then. Whatever you grabbed, give it to Alexis. Emily.
Okay. Got to memorize this one.
I don't know, Mr. Kerr, I put that map on right behind your area,
Okay, cool.
but I pretty much also sketched through the items. So we would know what we were talking about.
All right, did those print or do I need to print them again? Okay.
Oh, get outside.
Emily.
Those are the witnesses. Those are the witnesses for the prosecution side of our case.
Why are they outside?
Because they're trying to prep and they're not even ready.
Well, somebody should prep them instead of them staring at us.
They're not staring at you.
Yeah, they were.
You stared at them, they stared at you.
But that, we're just staring at them.
Laura's camera's recording all what your audio is.
Okay, cool.
So you get to be famous on YouTube anyway because your beautiful voices.
Well, they don't know what I look like.
But they'll recognize, but they only know your voice.
All right, that should be printing. Anything else? We're good?
I think we're good, but I forgot to add a couple questions, but I got them in my head anyway.
That'll work.
You got that pads?
Supposedly, yes. Supposedly, that's going to guess that it's prep.
We got our witnesses good. You got your take your 3 witnesses. Are good. All right, we're good. You're good there? Okay, anything unclear for my jurors what you're looking at?
Are you the leader of new believers?
All right.
Yes. Why did you have a
You've got it.
Bailiff?
Are you all ready?
All right, rise for the Honorable Judge Kerr. So what's the one about,
Guys.
All rise.
all right.
You may be seated.
Okay, we're here to hear the case of the state versus Lane. The charges are incitement of a riot and arson. Jury, you have your instructions in front of you. If you have questions at any point in the trial, just raise your hand. We will stop the trial to answer your question. Okay? Prosecution opening statement.
Your Honor, may I proceed?
You may.
Your Honor, may it please the court, jury, and opposing counsel. My name is Alexis Choi, and I am representing the prosecution in today's trial. A building has been burned to the ground, leaving the new believers devastated and longing for justice. In the midst of all this, experts have come to a certain conclusion that Leslie Lane is indeed responsible for charges of arson and urging a riot. Revenge. That's what today's case is about. A new group has started to form in Woodsville. They owned a parcel of land directly bordering alpine forest. This parcel of land included a private road, the only road leading to alpine forest. It is a 10-minute drive from the town hall. An annual summer Woodsville concert is held in alpine forest, and Leslie Lane, a rap artist, is performed here for several years. This year in particular, she had hoped to get a record contract offer. She even had record executives planning on coming. The New Believers had already decreased tourism for Leslie Lane, and now closed the road to alpine forest, decreasing tourism and canceling the concert. Leslie Lane then came to H.H. Shingle, objecting to the closing of the road. While getting escorted out, she tripped, trying to fight back, and sprained her wrist. The defendant had built hard feelings for the New Believers and created a group called the CWC, Concerned Woodsville Citizens. On July 22nd, Leslie Lane and the CWC gathered at 7 p.m., a crowd of approximately 100 people. They worked the crowd into a frenzy, urging violence. Then the defendants sang a song with lyrics from her song containing "Burn them out, reject the psychopaths, and let the flames do the talking." She even stated herself, "Tonight is the night we ruin the New Believers." This demonstration ended at 8:30 p.m. A large fire broke out 30 minutes after, around 9. The defendant then willingly drove to H.H. Shingle's quarters after the demonstration and arrived around 8:40. 8:40 to 9, that's 20 minutes, giving the defendant plenty of time to set a fire in the supply closet with cans of gasoline and lit it with her golden lighter found at the burn site. These are proved by the established facts and evidence provided by the case. That night, the defendants had the perfect opportunity to get her revenge and took it without a second thought. We have the burden of proof in this case, and we will prove beyond a preponderance of evidence. First, you will hear from Dana Daniels, a police and chief arson investigator who will testify the defendant's caught actions and why she was arrested. She will also prove some evidence gathered through her expert exam of someone who has done more than 500 fires over her time. She will prove that the fire was not an accident but an intention. Chris Chen, an auto mechanic, will discuss the ownership of the lighter that was gifted to Leslie Lane in the past and her past involvements with fire. Finally, you will hear from H.H. Shingle, leader of the New Believers, who will discuss the devastation the fire caused on the New Believer community and threats posed by the defendants and statements made by the defendant that showed potential action of violence and revenge. All this leads us to is a case of revenge from the defendant Leslie Lane. At the end of the trial, all that is left is the action of complete disregard for law and order, with the motive of revenge. Revenge, that's what today's case is about. We ask you keep this in mind as you listen to the evidence presented today. At the conclusion of today's trial, my co-counsel will come before you and ask the defendant, Leslie Lane, guilty and responsible for all charges. Thank you. Your Honor, may I be seated?
You may. Defense opening statement.
Your Honor, may I proceed at this time?
You may. Ooh, 1 second. I need a court photographer.
It's your key to take pictures throughout the trial. Things look cool.
Hello, I am Seth. Hello, there are two defense counselors, me and Hayden. We are here today because the state and the New Believers are claiming that we have urged a riot and start a. So we are from the city of Woodville, and we have a summer concert every year in Alpine Forest. A town person, Leslie Lane, was a rap artist who had concert executives ready to get recording contract. But in 2017, we had these new people who moved to Woodville during a spiritual movement with people all across the nation. They bought a large parcel of land and made up 20% of Woodville's population. There are only two entrances to the forest. You can enter through a private road, which is right here. Through a private road and the west side of Alpine Forest. Then the New Believers have built a school, community center, residences, and other structures. Some citizens have raised concerns about the New Believers' presence in town. The summer is when we have the most tourists visiting the Alpine Forest. A major concern is the effect of New Believers on the town's tourism economy. Tourism websites have complaints about harassment that occurs when New Believers beg for money and try to sell their trinkets. Many people online have recommended to vacation somewhere else. Some citizens of Woodville think that they can destroy tourism. Some citizens fear they could close down to the forest, which could end tourism in Woodville. The New Believers have closed the road many times. One closure happened on July 1st to July 7th, 2009, and on July 16th. Then Leslie Lehman King spoke emotionally about the economic hardships the town has been suffering since the New Believers have took 20% of the town's population. She tried to speak to the leader of the New Believers, but she got thrown off the premises and her wrist was sprained. Leslie had entertainment executive ready to attend the concert. On June, a town council meeting, Leslie and some others stated their belief was that a drastic action was necessary to prevent the New Believers from ruining their town. Even though that they voiced their concern, the council did not think the New Believers could permanently deny access to the Alpine Forest. So now we have more evidence introduced than very point. The map with 3 circles, the letter with LL engraved on it, even though the prosecution says it's gold, but it's actually silver. And the gasoline cans behind the bushes. Your Honor, may I present Exhibit A, the map?
Oh, not during an opening.
Sorry. Okay. So even though they think that the lighter engraved LL on it, she lit the fire because she tried to convince the council that they needed to take action and to take it seriously. So she felt like that she had to do this to get the people to convince the town to take serious action. She did not purposely light the fire. She did not make the New Believers she wants to make the New Believers feel ashamed for ruining the tradition of the annual summer concert in Alpine Forest. Also, make them feel ashamed for injuring one of Woodville's greatest rappers. Could H.H. Dingle sum nothing other than throwing Leslie off the premises? I think this is absolutely unacceptable because they have should ask if they can be on Woodville's property without just randomly moving in whenever they want. Where did these New Believers come from? Your Honor, I would like you to force the council to make the New Believers leave and get our original land back. Thank you.
All right, prosecution, you can.
May I be seated?
You may. You can call up your first witness.
Your Honor, at this time, the prosecution will call Officer Daniels to stand.
Okay, Officer Daniels, you can approach. Well, let's get, who's Officer Daniels? Come on up. Let me get Daniels sworn in, please.
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You may be seated.
Your Honor, may I proceed?
You may.
Good morning. Will you introduce yourself to the court and jury of today's trial? My name is Daniel Daniels. Now, Mrs. Daniels, what is your occupation?
I'm a police officer at the Woodville Police Department, and I am also the chief Arson investigator.
And how long have you been serving there?
I've been serving there for 12 years.
Have you ever investigated a fire?
Yes, over 500.
Have you ever testified before in an arson case?
Yes, close to 60.
Before today's case of suspected arson, what have you heard about the New Believers?
I've heard multiple complaints from the townspeople, but they've said that they're arranging child marriages and they have brainwashed the members.
And have you ever acted against the New Believers?
No, I have never acted against them. Just ask them to tone it down and stop being aggressive in some scenarios.
And can you describe the event that happened on June 26th?
CWC had held a rally and Polk, and Leslie Lane was the leader. Around 15 people showed up, and they were talking about how the New Believers were harming the town. During the speech, she kept pointing to a straw man dressed in New Believers garb. At the end of her speech, she lit the effigy on fire with the lighter. I ran to the scene and crowd a little bit to lighting the fire in the public feature.
And how did Leslie Lane react to your concern?
She seemed to understand and I let her go.
And can you tell us more about another incident that happened on July 3rd?
Yep, so I got dispatched to the New Believers school, and there was broken windows and spray paint on the wall. And witnesses said that it was 2 teenagers, and when driving back to town, I saw them, they admitted it to me, and I arrested them.
Now, can you run us through on specifics on today's current incident on July 22nd?
So I arrived at 8:30 p.m. and saw a crowd of approximately 100 loud and unruly people. Then I saw Leslie Lane, the defendant. She'd set a effigy of the New Believers on fire.
When did you get notified about the incident?
At 8:52 p.m., I heard the call and I pulled up.
And can you run us through details on approaching the scene?
I saw the defendant climbing over a 4-foot wall.
And you saw the defendant. Did you act on the defendant?
I detained her while I investigated for them.
And can you tell us what you found on behalf of your investigation?
I found a map similar to the ones I found on the protest site, but this one had 3 different places were circled along with the label with the initials LL.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to refer to what has been previously marked as Plaintiff Exhibit B. I will now give everyone a moment. Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Mrs. Daniels, what does this look like?
It's a label found site.
And does this appear to be a fair and accurate copy?
Yes, it does.
Do the initials look to be accurate?
Yes, it is.
And is this the exact lighter found at the scene of the crime?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to enter this as Plaintiff Exhibit B. Your Honor, may I approach the bench to tender Plaintiff Exhibit B as evidence?
You may.
Furthermore, did you find anything else on your expert search?
I also found a half-full gas can between the motor pool shed and the residence house, close to the route that I saw the defendant take.
And what did you do after having knowledge of this?
I searched the defendant's car once the fire was under control.
And how is the security of the scene protecting the evidence?
They blocked off the scene for only police and fire.
What was the environment of the scene like?
There was multiple onlookers and they were screaming and several were crying. I would say there's approximately 200 people and most of them were wearing new legal outfits.
And can you tell us more about the flame coming out of the building?
The flames coming from the building were yellow. The smoke was black and sometimes gray. Usually when fires are lit with gasoline, they produce yellowish flames and black smoke.
And how did the firefighters act on the fire?
They had used water and chemical foam, and they had completely dominated the fire in about an hour.
Tell us more about the odor of accelerant you smelled.
The odors of a chemical accelerant, particularly gasoline, often remain for some time after a fire. I detected an odor of gasoline on this occasion.
And can you run us through the details the next morning?
The following morning, I returned to the scene in order to inspect the structure's remains more closely. I had walked the burned building and took several photographs of the area that was involved.
And what was the damage caused?
Metal objects such as desks and filing cabinets were severely damaged, and wooden pieces of furniture such as chairs were recognizable but completely destroyed.
Did you yourself find the source of the fire?
Gasoline and wood of the building were potent, fuel source.
Based on evidence and expert knowledge, how did the fire happen?
Most likely the heat source was a cigarette lighter, which I found at the scene with gasoline as a fuel source.
And based on your expert opinion, what do you conclude on the case of a premeditated fire?
It is my expert opinion that on July 22nd, the fire in the community center of Clearwater was not a result of an accident, but was instead caused intentionally with the use of gasoline poured on the exterior of the building. I arrested the defendant on suspicion of arson.
Thank you, Ms. Daniel. No further questions, Your Honor, at this time. Your Honor, may I be seated?
You may. Cross.
I do have Jamie Daniels. I'm asking Brody Roberts, and I think Landry's gone, and where's Darren?
So those are your witnesses. Who's crossing Dana Daniels?
I'm not.
You're not, okay. How may I proceed, Your Honor? You may.
Your name is Dana Daniels, right?
Yes.
And you're a police officer?
Yes.
You have had past experiences with the new believer drama and aggressive behavior?
Correct.
Is it true that tourists have complained about the new believer's aggressive behavior?
Yes.
You said the fire in the building is yellow flames and black smoke,
correct?
Mhm.
And that could be a cause of chemical or gasoline.
Yes.
Did the scent of gasoline linger afterwards?
Yes.
No further questions? All right, you may be seated. You good?
Yes.
All right, the witness is excused. You can call your next witness, prosecution.
Your Honor, at this time, the prosecution would like to call Chris Chen to the stand.
All right, Mr. Chen, or Ms. Chen, you may approach. See the bailiff, please.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes. Your Honor, may I proceed?
You may.
Good morning. Will you introduce yourself before and jury of today's trial?
My name is Chris Chen. I work as an auto mechanic.
Ms. Chen, what is your relationship with the defendant, Leslie Lane?
I was friends with Leslie since high school. We were partners in the CWC group she was.
And how was Leslie Lane in high school, as you remember?
We were good friends, but she was wanting attention and to get a rise out of others.
Did Leslie Lane ever have experience with fire before?
Yes, at a small rally on June 26th, Leslie set a straw man on fire of the New Believers.
How did Leslie Lane feel about the New Believers?
Leslie was angry at the New Believers. She had hard feelings towards them.
What events were originally planned for the annual concert?
Leslie was supposed to perform as a rap artist, and she was recorded executives planning on coming to see her. It was important to her.
And can you tell us how the New Believers affected tourism?
Leslie and I saw eye to eye on the New Believers. We thought they harmed Woodville's economy. Tourism is down.
And when did you start to back away from the CWC?
I started to back away from the CWC after Leslie adopted a new CWC motto, burn them out. Leslie joked about burning them out. One day Leslie said, I'm having a barbecue and serving New Believer burgers on open fire.
Can you elaborate on why you left the CWC group?
It was mainly when Leslie set the straw man on fire of the New Believers. That was just the last straw for me, so to speak. I don't like where CTC or CWC is going. I decided to leave the group.
When did you leave the CWC?
I left the CWC about a month ago.
And can you tell us about the lighter you gifted to Leslie Lane?
I gave Leslie Lane a gold-plated lighter with her initials on it as a gift.
Can you tell us what encounters you had with Leslie Lane before July 22nd?
A month before the July 22nd demonstration, Leslie was smoking a cigarette and pulled out the gold-plated lighter I had given Leslie as a gift. Leslie picked up a map on the New Believers property and lit it on fire.
What actions did she take that seemed threatening to you?
When she burned the New Believers maps, then this is what we should do. Burn them off to the face of, burn them off the face of the earth.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to refer back to what has been previously entered as Plaintiff Exhibit B.
Here you go.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Let the record reflect I've shown this exhibit to be a opposing counsel. Ms. Chen, what does this look like?
It looks like the lighter I gave Leslie Lane.
Does it appear to be a fair and accurate copy of the lighter you gifted to the defendant?
Yes, it does.
Do the initials seem to be correct?
Yes, those are Leslie Lane initials.
Is this the same lighter you saw the defendant use to light the map of the New Believers?
Yes.
Thank you. Furthermore, can you tell us some of your thoughts and actions before the big demonstration on July 22nd?
I decided to go to Leslie's apartment to be a voice of reason. Leslie needed to see that burning and effigy would harm CWC's goals. When I approached the door, I heard Leslie speaking to someone on the phone.
What did you hear Leslie tell the person on the phone?
I heard Leslie say, yeah, I hope that everything goes according to the plan tonight. I'll bring the cans and make sure things get really hot.
And can you tell us what you saw after that?
Then I saw Leslie come out and pulling 2 cans of gasoline in Leslie's car. I approached and startled Leslie. I asked about the cans,
and Leslie said it's none of your business.
What did you do after witnessing the cans?
I was concerned, but I didn't go to the police without evidence. I went to the demonstration to see what Leslie was going to do.
Can you describe what it was like when you got there?
When I got there, Leslie was addressing the crowd, repeating the chant, burn them out. Leslie kept going until everyone joined in. Leslie was good at playing on people's emotions. Leslie would say things like, "Aren't you angry they drove the tourists away?" And protest yourselves and the ones you love, burn them out.
And when did your concerns start to grow?
When Leslie started to sing a song, I realized that Leslie was asking people to do more than just create a loud demonstration. I think Leslie wanted the crowd to really burn out the new believers.
And how did the crowd react to this?
When the audience got worked up and joined in on the chant.
How was Leslie Lane interacting with the crowd?
At one point, Leslie came off the stage and circulated through the crowd, stopping and talking to people. Leslie talked for a while, and I heard Leslie say the kids will be happy no school tomorrow. Leslie and the noisy crowd laughed.
Can you tell us more towards the end of the rally?
Towards the end of the rally, I saw the leader of the New Believers, HH. I went to HH and expressed my concerns.
Can you describe the conversation you guys had?
I warned HH that Leslie and the crowd seemed to pose an imminent threat to the believers.
How did HH react to that?
HH rushed back to the New Believers community.
Finally, what was your reaction to Leslie Lane getting arrested?
Last night, while I was eating dinner, I heard on the radio that there was a fire set on the New Believers land. I knew it was Leslie.
Thank you, Ms. Chen. No further questions, Your Honor, at this time. May I be seated?
You may. All right, we're gonna stop there. We're on here at 35, right? Is that your second witness?
Yes.
Okay, so then you'll do cross to start tomorrow. We're gonna start right at the bell because we need to get through this whole trial tomorrow, okay? Hey, witnesses, I don't know if I told you this yesterday and they did a great job today. You are graded for your witness role. So just make sure you are trying your best and you will be fine. Good job. If you want to stick around and get your feedback, people that went today, if you'd like feedback. Okay?
my feedback. Yeah, I was also going to do my question on language.
Yeah, we'll stay right at the last.
Yeah, they're working on it
There is memorize logical motion, easy to follow, very professional. So you're exceeding, your question, okay? Logical, well written, lots of pathos with your wording and lots of gestures. It wasn't, you were reading the whole time, so it wasn't memorized. And so in terms of your performance, I'd say it was a little lower, but in terms of your writing, it was good. Cool.
But my final grade is similar to it.
Ew, my arm.
For sure, for sure.
Do you need people today?
He live? Yeah, he's live, see?
Study hall.
Live.
You're also here tomorrow.
What?
Why don't you come down in 10 minutes?
Yeah, 2 people are on.
Defense for the first trial? Okay, so defense,
We're
prosecution.
looking at his slide.
I was able to read why.
He's like, they can't see you. The camera's
Do I answer?
okay, if we have to work, where do we go?
Neither.
Because I was too busy to do it last night.
Yes, this chair must be in it.
Prosecution.
You two good?
Yeah. Yeah, what do we do after work instead of watching trial?
Work on yours, just go in there to. How are you? Hey, let's get set up. If you are on the jury, head over here. If you are in the trial, head over here. We're gonna get. Do you want some time with your witnesses before trial? We'll give you like 10 minutes, okay?
Where do we go from either?
You're in the jury.
I'm a jury.
If you are a witness for the next trial, please sit down over here. If you're a witness for the next trial, if you're a witness for this trial, come to me.
Hey guys. Hi guys.
Is this Lane? Which trial is this? Lane.
Is there anybody on? Allie.
You need to.
Is there anybody on? Oh, there's two people on. What are you? Mr. Kirk, can I see who's on? Mr. Kirk, can I see who's on? Who's on? I don't know.
We'll talk all together. I don't know.
Hey guys. Who's on?
Nobody excited. It's going to be all parents.
There's two people on.
Yeah, they're both parents. I'm sure.
So we're doing Chiefs trials today.
Correct.
Which ones?
We're doing Lane today.
So what are we doing tomorrow, Madison?
Lane will take more than one day to finish.
Really?
Yeah.
Please get to the spots you were asked to be in. I'm very visual. I need to see that you know where you're supposed to be. Do not trip over my cord, please.
So was Madison the jury? Hey, the jury voting.
Who's gone? And what was his role?
He is one of our witnesses.
Which witness?
Bonnie. Who's Jamal? Jamal is I think Jamal is Riley Roberts? No, he's Christian. I don't know.
Can you figure that out?
Lauren was
Where are we supposed to be? I don't know.
Right now, so I'm a witness. I answer.
Where are we supposed to be?
You
guys? Are you ready?
All right, eyes here, please. If you are the three prosecution or the three defense lawyers, come to me. So defense lawyers, come to me. Defense lawyers, come to me.
I don't know what's on.
Are you defense lawyers? Come to me. Okay, where are your witnesses? Are you a defense lawyer? No? You're a witness. Okay, so who are the other two witnesses? Okay. Right here? Okay, so you take those three to the hall and prep them. See ya. What are you two doing? For witnesses for this trial? Okay, who's your, and you're missing Jamal, right? Take these two and go prep these two. Is this for the second trial or the first trial? Today? Okay, so go take them, you get 10 minutes with them today. Okay? And are you a witness or what are you doing?
I'm a witness.
You're a witness with them. Okay.
Do I go with them?
Meaning you have all three of your witnesses then. Jamal is not a witness.
Jamal was a witness.
You are going to be Jamal now.
Okay.
Is that right? You're the same. Okay, never mind. You're good. You're good. Who is Jamal? Okay. Take Finley with you. She'll be Dana Daniels. Tell her what to say. We'll figure it out. Just say whatever. If you're not sure, just look at me and I'll nod or shake my head. After you told her that she would have been, so that she researched this stuff and was like, back
For the child, after spring break?
It looks like it. We might just do it Friday, but I think it'll take too long.
Hey, lawyers, you can sit over here. Yeah, we need to address this before this starts.
Hello.
Oh, like in the. Do you want to talk to Aiden?
No,
Okay, more. You already talked to Aiden. Okay, talk to Reese.
no big deal.
So we have to decide, do we want to address this before or after?
Honestly, it's the half.
Let's say if we address it before. But after, we can go over ethical stuff in lawyers and how that, I mean, it wouldn't matter, there's discovery and actual trial, you have all these other stuff. Yeah, just the fact that she has to, that's accurate, that's a big problem.
Don't have to buy it.
Yeah, just let her know, yeah. And then, so she's not rich right now either. Okay. Hey, let me go over the juries with you. So you should have, is this the Lane trial, right? So these are your jury instructions. There's two different crimes. There's urging a riot and there's arson. Okay. So she's charged with, she sang a song and she's charged with, through this song, urging other people to burn down a building. Okay, so she's charged with that. She's also charged with being the person that actually set the fire. Okay, so those are two different charges. You could find her guilty of one of them. You could find her guilty of both of them. You could find her guilty of neither of them. Cool. I want you to read through that. It's very complex. This is actually an Oregon State high school trial that I didn't change at all. I just printed it off. And so it's very much a high-level case. If at any point you don't know what's happening in the trial, just raise your hand and we'll stop the trial and answer your questions. Okay?
We're in court.
I need a bailiff today.
Could I be both bailiff and jury?
Sure. So you would say this to start the trial, then you would do this to swear in witnesses, okay?
I feel so powerful now.
Attaboy. All right, James, aren't you a witness?
Yes.
Have you been prepared? Are you out here with your people?
This by itself gives me so much more confidence.
Are you in the second trial? Yeah. Okay. And you feel okay with that trial? You just need more time?
Yeah.
So who's your lawyer that you're working with? Who's questioning Jance on the Madison trial? Madison lawyers, who are you? Who's questioning Jance? Who are you playing? Kelly King? That's the Leslie Lee trial. Are you sure you're on this next trial?
We're Madison. Ours is Benton, Carter, and Jordan. Yeah, he's not in
Hey, are you? Who is Kelly King?
Wait, go on the Google thing and look at it. Look at it. Not to? Oh, okay. Like,
What's your last name?
Zach.
What's your last name?
Jenny Levin.
Yeah, spell that.
Janule.
Oh no.
Use the spell thing. Spell how you
It's Janule. WI.
Right. Okay.
What happened?
I just heard it.
Oh.
This is why I never want to be on. Come on.
Yeah, that is English.
To get a better teacher.
Last year,
Now you should just get a better teacher if you want to do stuff like this. Huh? I mean, legs. Huh? So what do you guys usually do in English if you don't do stuff like this? Really? I couldn't imagine actually doing schoolwork in English class. Couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I think we figured it out. Tanya's a witness in this trial. Okay. You're good.
But I,
We figured it out. We've got it figured out, I think.
You could have just asked me.
Yes.
All right, woo, we got it sorted out. That was, it was scary for a second that they could tell me who was what, but they could, it's very confusing.
So are we actually going to start the trial today?
Okay, then you need to share it with me then.
are we actually?
You also need to use your computer up there.
I can? Okay.
Let's just do that. All right, you feeling okay with your stuff? And you're on the next trial? Oh, we're pushing this one after spring break. We don't even need to go today. Good.
Except for some of these guys.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. That's two of them. There's two of them. Yeah, so we need to start now then. All right. Sorry, I know it's delayed. That's how it is. You are all witnesses for the next round of trials, right? So let's get you. You're not involved in this trial at all. I would encourage you to be on the jury then, if you want to be.
Where would they
Unless you
sit?
have stuff you need to work on, then you can work during trial. Is there anyone here that doesn't want to be on the jury that just wants to go work? Okay, so why don't you head in there, you go work.
Well, can I say, I want to like, but I.
So why don't you head over there, and we'll get some more jury members. Anyone else going to work while they're here?
What do you gotta do as a jury?
You'll determine guilt or innocence. So, why don't we have you two head there, read the pink sheet, that'll tell you what you're looking for, okay? If you four want to be working during trial, that's fine. And if you need to talk at all, you're welcome to go. Well, you're good. Is that the fire expert or the friend?
So are we even gonna start today? Like,
Trial's gonna start today.
okay. It's not gonna end today though. It's gonna end tomorrow.
It's not gonna end today. Highly unlikely.
Hey.
All right, hey, I don't know if I told this class this. In fact, I don't think I did because it was afternoon classes that said it. Well, actually, no, it was about AM class. So someone, I forget if it was first or second hour, was like, hey, we're doing an exceeding trial, and we overheard the witnesses saying today, oh, her sentence not graded, so I'm just not going to try on this. So here's my response to that. People that are doing these exceeding trials work exceptionally hard, so if you're a witness, just make sure you're trying your best. As long as you come up here and try your best, and you're trying to like make it a performance and fun to watch, you get to keep the grade that you got on Goldie. If you come up here and you're tanking their trial, now if you don't know the answers and you're trying, that's fine. But if you're up here like sabotaging their trial or not trying, or being sarcastic or things like that, then we'll move your performance grade down to a beginning for your Goldie. And I think that's fair to say, hey, just try, and you get to keep your grade that you earned on your Goldie one. Okay? Cool with that? The witnesses are the most important role in these trials. They make or break the trial. They like make it exciting. So even if you do have a sheet in front of you and you have to be reading at times, try and make it exciting. We don't want to see a bunch of people just reading off a sheet. As much as you can, even if you are reading, read it with emotion in your voice and things like that. I'm going to see if I can wheel this thing out of the room. If that doesn't work.
It has to be plugged in.
Yeah, I see that. How long it is. I'm just going to.
Dare you to just power it off and let people be mad.
I know, I went down.
Should I just say hi
to
to
the
everyone?
But I'm like, we're here all week. I feel like that's mean to have it off all week.
I want to say hi to the one. I want to say hi to the one viewer.
Yeah, but it has to be
watching the live stream.
Here's what we'll do. I'm gonna go like this. Because a bell rings during this
Just want to say
class.
hi to him.
You got those. And then I will leave it on. If it starts to become an issue, I'll unplug it. Yeah. Go ahead. All right, witnesses, let's have a seat. Witnesses that are for this trial, let's have a seat over here. So who are the 3 witnesses?
Landon,
One,
Addison, Lauren, and
3, 4. So you 4 sitting over 5 sitting over here. Who are your witnesses for this side? 1, 2. So grab a seat. And then you're missing 1. Oh, is it Finley for your side?
Oh.
Is Dana Daniels for your side? All right. We are going to start in 30 seconds, so get all your stuff together, get your evidence together, get everything you need for trial together. Go get it. All right, questions at all about trial before we start? And then people that are working, if you need to talk at all, meaning if you need to make noise, go somewhere else, okay? And that which is totally fine. All right. Lawyers here, we're good. Oh, we're missing, we'll wait for Cadence, right? Yeah. And then you've got what you need and you feel good? Then I'll go your opening statement, then I'll go your opening statement. You'll call your first witness, they'll cross. Second witness cross, third witness cross. We probably wouldn't get that far again. Cool.
Can I interrupt really quick so I don't have to stand up and look around? Besides Jamal, are we missing anybody? No. Everybody has their partner and buddy?
Feeling good? Okay. And then I do need someone to be in the jury to be a courtroom photographer. Let's avoid that if we can. Let's avoid as much as, is anybody going to step out from the podium? Maybe? We'll figure it out. You're what now? Are you just charging that? Yes. Let's, if you're cool with it, I'm going to just plug it into a wall. Okay. Cool. Right over here behind Landon. You plug that in behind you. All right, and then I'll get rid of this. Eventually, this is going to go back there. In fact, no, this is going to go right here. Is where it'll go eventually. All right, we're good? Is Cadence back? All right.
We have a whole one person on the live stream.
Whole person.
A whole one person. Oh, I do need a photographer. So who is going to be? You're already a bailiff. You're in there. So I need someone over here. Avery had the hand up first. You can fight Avery if you want, Grace. Pictures only. Just get pictures of anything that looks like a courtroom. Any good moments. If someone steps away from that podium, that's good. Questioning, swearing in, all that stuff.
If someone gets upset.
You say the first line, buddy.
All right, the Honorable Judge Kerr presiding.
You may be seated. We are here to hear the case of the state versus Leslie Lane. The charges are arson and urging a riot. Jurors, any questions about your jury instructions on your pink cards? All right, and then we are going to continue this trial tomorrow. So if you're visiting, just see us tomorrow to finish up, okay? We will have the prosecuting opening statement. And then I'm writing on this enormous piece of paper your feedback. So that's what I'm doing, okay?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may, Counselor Ava.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my name is Ava Flores, and I'm here today to serve justice for the new believers. We are here today because Leslie Lane needs to be held accountable for her actions. Today you will see countless amounts of evidence that proves that Leslie Lane deserves to be punished for her crimes. Today you will hear from H.H. Hingle, the leader of the new believers himself, on what he has experienced. Chris Chen, a former friend of Leslie's, and Diana Daniels, the police officer who arrested Leslie at the scene. We ask and find Leslie Lane guilty of the charges of arson and inciting a riot. Both are very serious crimes. Inciting a riot means that she had urged to riot, and arson is lighting a piece of property on fire. The defense team will try to trick you into believing every word that is spoken. I will admit to you that some may be true, but most will be false. My teammate will discuss about the established facts of this case. We will show you how this monster had destroyed homes of innocent people and has lied, and most importantly, that the monster deserves to have the consequences and deserves nothing less of it. We ask you to find Leslie Lane guilty of all charges. May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may. Prosecution, you're opening.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may, Counselor Cadence. You may if you want to. If you do, let's have Ava and Amani walk that way, though. We've had people do it. I just clear out this table because you have to have 6 feet.
It's okay.
Cool.
Okay. My name is Katie Souchon. We are the defense. The facts of this case are clear. My client, Leslie Lane, did not set fire that burned down the New Believers Community Center. The rally did not start a fire. The song that she wrote was all for spirit. Miss Lane and the group CWC were just trying to figure out matters on their own. The prosecution will give you facts that may confuse you, but it's clear that Miss Lane is not guilty of arson. What our client will tell you is that she ran out of her rally for CWC as the word of her song started to get taken seriously, and went immediately and quickly to tell the leader of the New Believers, H.H. The song was not meant to be taken seriously, but before she could even get fully in the compound, she was stopped suddenly by police and arrested for suspicion. Suspicion is not proof. As for the lighter, it could have gone missing around the time Miss Lane was violently thrown off their property. Chris Chen does not have a grudge against Miss Lane. Chris Chen does have a grudge against Miss Lane after he left the CWC, which is Miss Lane's group. When Chris Chen heard that members of the CWC were planning to take it more serious than men, he told H.H. Hingle their plans and ran back to his compound after anyone else, including Miss Lane, and he said the fire was already going when he got back, so the timing just doesn't make sense. He does have fire insurance and was in a large amount of debt. It is a possibility that the fire was a maintenance problem. There was flammable chemicals in the location of the fire. It is not clear that the fire was a gasoline fire. Now, when the opponent takes a stand, it is their job to prove Miss Lane wrong, but their assumptions do not prove her guilty. May I be seated, Your Honor?
You may. Prosecution, you may call your first witness.
We, the prosecution, would like to call A.J. Tingle up to stand.
H.H. Hingle, you may approach to see the bailiff.
You have a book?
Here it is. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You may be seated.
You may.
You didn't move here too long ago, right?
No, not too long ago.
Tell us about you and Lizzie's rocky relationship.
When I first met Leslie, she was very rude and didn't want to listen to us. It was as if she hated us for no reason. She hates us so much that she even burned an effigy of a new believer.
Tell us how Leslie reacted when you told her you won't reopen the road.
She started demanding that we open the road. I explained to her that on the same day of the concert, we had a special ritual that only happened once a year. She even said, your phony rituals don't have anything to do with us. I figured arguing was pointless. She didn't want to listen. I had some of my followers escort her off the property. I was walking back to our meditation when I heard her say, you can't get away with this. This is our land. We'll get rid of you. I turned around in time to see her running towards me. She tripped and got hurt.
How does her reaction to your religious practices make you feel?
It made me feel unwanted and confused. Leslie was getting all worked up because we closed a road.
Did you talk to her at any point trying to establish the rumors about you and your community?
Yes, I have, but she did not listen.
Are these rumors true?
Absolutely not.
Did Leslie warn you about her fans possibly burning down the buildings?
She did not. It was actually Chris Chen that warned me.
How did your community feel about Leslie?
It made us feel that she was going to do something bad to us.
Okay.
You may be seated. You may. Across. You may proceed. Yeah, you're good. And then you're going to ask your questions. Yeah.
Hello, sir. How are you feeling today?
It's pretty good today. I've been doing fine.
What were you doing on the night of the fire?
I was at the rally.
So the new believers have been expanding, correct?
Yes, correct.
Where are you getting your profit?
We're selling merchandise and donations.
Do you make a lot of money doing that?
No, not the most, but gets us through.
Do you used to use your community center every day?
Yes.
Since you are expanding your community, are you a debt, correct?
Yes.
A lot of debt.
Yes.
Do you have fire insurance?
Yes.
Do your fire insurance help you get out of the money you had for your damage?
Yes, possibly.
Would it get you out of more debt, including that?
Yeah.
When did you leave the out rally early? Chris Chen warned you that the members of the CWC might take more serious action, correct?
Yes.
And Leslie was still performing when you left, correct?
Yes.
And did you go straight to your compound?
Yeah.
The fire was going strong when you arrived, right?
Yes.
But you left before Leslie?
Yes.
And do you know if Leslie was going there to warn you?
No.
Did you think since she was performing, do you think she saw you talking to Chris Chen?
It's a possibility, but I don't think so.
Did you drive back?
No.
This can be easily fixed, the damage, correct?
Yes.
And will the fire insurance help you that?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there other questions?
Good. Good. Okay, you can proceed. You're dismissed. You can redirect your witness if you want. Oh, you may.
So, when Chris Chen warned you about the fire, did you went to your believers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so then that's possible that it gave Leslie time to go and burn down the building.
Entirely possible.
Okay, witness is dismissed. You can, wake up. You
You can't redirect on it. You can't recross. All right. You can call your next witness, but you can redirect all your own witnesses.
We, the prosecution, would like to call Dana Daniels to stand.
Dana Daniels, please approach. Oh, yes, Miss Daniels. Can you, bailiff, you're going to swear in Miss Daniels for us?
Of course.
Okay.
Raise your hand. Yeah. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You may.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Where's your job?
I am a police officer, but I also happen to be the chief arson investigator. I just received my certification last year.
What do you mostly do at your work? What do you mostly do at your work?
Well, in addition to my regular duties, I also serve as the department's chief arson investigator. I've investigated over 500 fires of varying sizes and intensities, and I believe I have served over 60 trials.
You saw that constant.
Yes.
Can you describe what the smoke from the fire looks like?
Fire was producing a yellowish flame and black smoke.
Okay, what does the color of the smoke indicate?
That there's some sort of gasoline or starter to that fire.
What's your theory about how the fire started?
Well, when I walked the scene, I was tracing and watching patterns and marching out colors, and the fire had multiple points of origin. An accelerant had been poured in several spots, one after the other.
Did you find any evidence to support that theory?
Yes. There were 3 exterior walls on the fire except the south-facing wall. The flames were yellow and the smoke was black. After the fire was out, I went to examine the area. I smelled the odor of a chemical accelerant, particularly gasoline.
You may. Cross.
Did you see Leslie Knight fire when you arrived?
No.
When you arrived, was she running towards or away from the fire?
Away.
Did you know it was gasoline, like for a fact, that the accelerant for the fire?
No.
Was the map you found on the area of the ground heavily marked in what color?
Black.
Sorry. Was it in front of or behind the compound?
Behind.
Previously, have you stopped Leslie in doing anything illegal?
I have not, but.
You can elaborate.
Okay.
It's on them to get your stuff.
I have not, but I have been called out to many things. The community has had some concerns about their, I don't want to group.
Yes, their religious organization.
Yes, thank you. Their religious organization have.
And when Leslie put out the effigy, did she put up a fight or did she
Kind of let it go.
do you think Leslie was the only source of that for lighting this fire?
I can't say that. Yes or no?
Thank you, Raphael.
Okay. All right, this witness is excused. You can call your last witness.
We, the prosecution, would like to call Chris Chen to stand.
Ms. Chen, you may approach, and we just had an impromptu witness that went today, so I think it worked pretty well.
Ms. Chen, could you come here, please? Put your hand on the book. Raise your other hand. Repeat after me. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
You may, oh, it's 2 of you. Okay, so are you switching at some point, or are you both just answering as you see fit, or what?
We're like switching on. Sorry.
So why don't we do this?
Bailiff, can you pull over a chair for our second witness? We're gonna do this a little non-traditionally. There you go. Why don't you put that one between the computer and the desk there? Be careful not to trip on that bad boy. All right, we can have both witnesses sit down. You may. Yeah, and this is Chris Chen. This is Chris Chen.
Yeah. How are you, Mr. Chen? I'm good. What is your relationship with Leslie? Me and Leslie have been friends since high school. You said she can be very persuasive? Yes, she can. What are some things she did in high school and college that weren't very smart? In one high school prank, Leslie bleached the football field with the words "ha ha ha." In college, after our school won the league basketball championship, Leslie wanted to light every trash can on campus on fire. How did she feel towards any believers? She was angry at the believers. What did she do or say that made you feel this way about her? She adopted the motto, "Burn them out." Leslie joked about burning out the new believers. She even burned an effigy with a new believer shirt on fire. Okay, describe how she was at protests. She kept repeating the chant "Burn them out" until she got the whole crowd to join. She was very good at playing on people's emotions. She would say things like, "Are you angry they drove the tourists away?" and "Protect yourselves and the ones you love. Burn them out." I think Leslie wanted the crowd to literally burn out the movies. After what Leslie and her fans said, was it you that won H single about her fans possibly 75? Yes, it was me. And then what were the questions down there?
You may be seated. Oh, and Avery, I wasn't trying to scrutinize you at all. I was posing for a picture with the gavel. That's why. Okay, you figured that out. All right. She said I was like pointing it at her, and then she immediately sat down and cowered. I was like, no, that's
You weren't threatening her.
yes, I was not threatening you with the gavel. All right, my bad there. Cross.
Good morning, how are you doing this morning? I'm good. Okay. Did you see Leslie when you start this fire? No. But in your statement, it did say that you knew this her. Yeah. Are your suspicions only running on past anger or maybe speculations? It is correct that you and Leslie did have a hard falling out when she did leave CWC, right? Yeah. And you left the CWC because you felt like you could do more, correct?
I think that's directly from your testimony.
Okay. Did Leslie Lane buy gas? Yeah. Do you know if it was in a tank or was it for her car? I do not know. Did she discuss gas prices with you? Did you give Leslie Lane a gold-plated lighter with her initials? Yes. Do you know for a fact the lighter that you saw the night of the rally is in the paper? No. Did you tell H.H. Hingle that the members of CWC might take more serious actions against them while Leslie was still performing? Yes. And lastly, Leslie Lane didn't see you before H.H. Hingle, most likely, correct, because she was performing? Okay.
You good, or do you want to redirect?
Yeah.
All right. You may.
So when you went to Leslie's apartment to stop her from doing whatever she was doing, did you hear her say, "Yeah, I hope that everything goes according to plan tonight. I'll bring the cans and let's make sure things get real hot"? Yes.
Witnesses excused. Witnesses are excused. All right, so those are your three witnesses, right? I think, how, your first witness, is it a pretty long one, or do we know?
It is Leslie Lane. I can do it in probably like 2 minutes. I won't be here tomorrow.
Yes, let's do it now. Leslie, come on up. You're not here tomorrow either? Okay. Are you a witness?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You're-
To make it
Oh, okay, cool. All right. If the bell rings during this, we're gonna wait for this examination to be over, okay?
This one.
You will cross them, but you'll be here tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So we just need Reese to get through her part today.
Leslie, good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm okay. So, is it true that your lighter was gone for a while before this whole situation started?
Yes, it was a few weeks ago.
And what were you doing on the night?
I was performing at my rally.
And this rally was for your group CWC?
Yes.
What color is your lighter?
Gold.
Is it easily mistaken for another color?
Yes.
And your lighter, you borrowed was silver, correct?
Yes.
Who did you borrow that from?
Is this established?
Yes.
Who did you borrow it from?
Riley Roberts.
Riley Roberts.
And was your song that you wrote for symbolism?
Yes.
When you were writing the words that you were singing, were you thinking about literally burning them?
No.
Was HH in your life rapping?
Yes.
Whole entire time?
No.
Did he leave fairly early while you're still performing, or in the middle or towards the end? When you got to his compound after you heard members of your own group saying that they're going to burn out, was the fire going strong?
Yes.
Did you draw a detailed map of the New Believers land?
No.
Did you see it previously? Was it one of your members who had it? Do you usually remember getting gasoline?
Yeah.
Was your car running on empty gas around the time?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevant.
What was the question?
If the car was low on gas.
And so why is the answer to this question relevant in this case?
Well, because, Your Honor, my defendant witness is saying that the gas she got was for a car. And the defense was saying it was for lighting a fire or something else. So I feel like it is relevant.
So she's saying that it's relevant because she's proving that it was possibly used for a different purpose. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can ask the question. Please sit down.
Do you usually get receipts for gasoline or any purchases you buy? Did you usually, so you did not get a receipt for gas that night? Yes. Were you in a hurry to try to get to your rally? Yes. Have you ever had any negative run-ins with the New Believers before? Can you explain that incident a little bit further, please? Was it when they went up to them because your concert was being, the road to your concert was being blocked?
Yes.
And did that throw off your business and what you worked for money?
Yeah.
And did you go to them to explain your concerns in a short way?
Yes.
Is it true that they threw you violently off their phone?
Yes.
Did they hurt your wrist, correct?
Yes.
Is your injury healable today?
What?
Is your injury healable today?
Yes.
Why did you go to the compound?
I went to the compound to warn HH Hingle of the aggressiveness of my members. I didn't hear Chris warn him that they were going to do that.
So you really didn't see or hear Chris even talking to HH Hingle? What were you doing when the fire started, or around the time they think the fire started? Were you still at the rally, correct?
Yes.
What were you doing when the police arrested you?
I was climbing the wall to get to Hingle when they stopped me.
And did you even get into the compound before you were arrested? You like fire? Thank you.
You may, if you need if you're take off if they don't believe you're late, have them email me, okay? I'm not gonna write 30 tests. Stick around here if you were a lawyer today. Good job, by the way, lawyers and everyone. Oh, right, hey, I thought you had the motion in your voice here was logical. Your witness wasn't super prepared, so you'd have to ask an open-ended question, and then you'd have to ask it closed-ended so they knew the answer. So that was part of what you were doing there. Cadence, I thought that it worked well. It was well written. The pacing was good. The biggest thing was the eye contact. We just need to see your eyes more. Amani, very good job doing a redirect for people trying that. I thought you had solid questions and good pacing and all that. Dave, a good pacing. You sound very serious and professional. Although I said pacing was good, but then later on I wrote needs pauses, meaning your pacing was probably good for better first half, and probably sped up second half, which is very common in speeches. And then emotion in your voice, you sounded like excited. Okay? I'm going to take. You're gone tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm doing a closing.
And you're doing the closing. Do you have Reese's questions for tomorrow? Okay, so let's get those. So go grab those and then come back and see. And then you two are here tomorrow, and we're good there. Okay. You've expressed concerns to Finley about stuff yesterday. Okay. Are we all good there, or is that still anyone?
I mean, we'll have a technical about this.
Okay.
I was just confused.
Do we need to talk about that right?
I mean,
Let's just do that special. I wasn't here, so I'll hear what everyone has to say.
Okay.
But we gotta hustle because I gotta eat now. So yeah, so we look at test rubrics and then we agree because we've done it this way for which is fine. We'll go through that. Although I do want to spend some time with Vandermark, she's doing my help. I want to give her some ideas. You have a lunch right now? Perfect. You have lunch. Perfect. Okay, you've got all the questions you need for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, so yesterday there were some grievances about binders and things like that, so tell me more about what happened yesterday.
Okay, so my binder was gone all the way. I just asked Monty if I could borrow Cadence. You didn't? I thought it was. No, I asked if I could borrow the binder. I think she must have forgot. They had the notes in it or something, but I need to go over my witness statement because I was going over with. We were witnesses. Yeah.
We were told it was one document, and then we were also told by Anya that you were going through the whole binder and said that we used something wrong. We were looking for against something else.
No.
That's what Anya said that she read, and she came to us and said, Reese is looking through your binder. She said she found something on the document.
I got this, I think I got this. At no point did you say, you ever hear anything that Reese said that upset you?
No.
At no point did you overhear anything that upset you here? So this is all conversations about conversations said by 3 or 4 other people.
She could have been.
So I'm not saying that, but I will say this, there's a reason why hearsay is not allowed in court. Do you know what hearsay is? Hey, Finley told me the other day this. That's not admissible because it has to be what you said. You ever play telephone? Do you get the same answer at the end of a telephone? Sometimes, but sometimes you don't, right? So what usually happens it's probably what happened here, is that there could have been some transgressions, possibly not, but probably not to the level we thought was happening. And does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that idea, if you hear something, then you hear something, it's probably not the exact truth.
Yeah.
Sounds like maybe Reese,
I found something wrong with my case.
Gotcha.
What's happening.
Gotcha. So
And I actually found this last night. I haven't done any markings on this whatsoever. And I don't know if this is a typo.
That's a little weird. Whose is it? This isn't yours though,
This
right?
was my binder. I found it in a different desk earlier, and these are the drawings.
I can't tell what these are. This looks like the US. This looks like a knife. That would make sense if this was Madison, but it's not, right? Oh, flammable. I wonder if that's not a knife.
It looks like a lighter.
I think it's a lighter, maybe. There you go.
That looks like a lighter.
I think they're drawing the evidence. I wouldn't look too far into it. You're probably fine. So I'm guessing that's what happened. So that's why if you ever have an issue with someone, either go to an adult or go to that person. Because if you start to go to the people around that person, then we start to get half truths, and then we add those up, and it just snowballs into whatever.
Yeah, what I found was like, I saw in my case, I wrote something down there, and you're working with Anya and everything.
Yeah, because Anya, when she was like, Reese said that you guys wrote something down wrong.
No, I wrote something.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I wrote something down wrong.
So we're all good?
Yeah.
All right, you're out here?
Do you guys need these back?
No.
Okay. Have a good spring break.
You too, where are you going, Reese?
Florida.
Have fun in Florida. Good job today. I can take this is gone, you don't have to think about it ever again. Later. So it was,
You don't know.
yeah, I would never have understood
Me,
anything like
that's
that.
why I'm like,
So I think that, well,
I thought somebody inserted themselves, but I didn't need to.
correct.
And probably didn't have a lot to do, so they decided to start studying themselves. They had nothing else to do. They didn't know what to do. Doing work.
Yay!
It's all good.
Oh, shoot, my phone over there? Yes, it is.
All right, happy lunch with you.
Yeah.
The Waukee